Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. I hope you guys are all doing well out there. I hope you guys are well rested. We had a very late night last night, but I do appreciate all y'all for being here, being a part of the conversation this last night. Man, it is, I would say day two. I mean, I still think of this as day one of cross-examination for Amber Heard, but hey, this is technically day two of Team Depp going after Amber Heard now. They came out hot and fresh out the kitchen, guns blazing, just right out the gate. And so we are here to witness possible annihilation. We will see here soon enough. The guys are, the not the jury, but the lawyers, Team Heard and Team Depp, are inside in the courtroom right now. They're about to kick things off. It's about to get really crazy, I'm sure. It's going to get really nasty, and I'm sure it's going to be hilarious like yesterday. Yesterday was kind of hilarious, solely because of just seeing how Amber Heard was floundering. I mean, she was grasping at everything and anything she could get, and she was even throwing her legal team under the bus. Man, there was so much to digest and dissect from yesterday's trial. Yesterday was an annihilation, just to be honest. I'm just going to bring these guys up now. They're up at the, they're talking to the judge right now, dealing with whatever they're dealing with. But you can see for yourself. I mean, she looked tired, y'all. Okay? She looks tired as hell. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for a day of absolute truth, proof of lying, and just the truth. And maybe something big will happen today. Maybe. And maybe she'll just keep throwing everybody else under the bus except herself. She threw everybody, including her own sister. Real talk. Including her own sister. Unbelievable, y'all. We got a super chat. Susan, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. First installment, a $7 million donation to Pascal Show. Pledge is synonymous with donation. Absolutely. My God, she's like trying to explain what she calls pledge and donation. She's trying to define it herself, and she's just getting a simple question. And she can't give out a simple answer. She's just sitting there. Man, like I said, that whole thing was like, who's on first? Seriously, it was like that. She just kept on asking her, donate. Did you pay? Did you pay the $7 million like you said you were going to do? All of it to those two organizations. Did you or did you not? And she just kept saying, I pledged. That don't mean nothing. Question is, where the money at, though? Where the money at? Guarantee you it's in a new house or a new condo, or maybe she drank it all. How fitting. Like I said, this trial is brought to you by Crystal Light flavor packets. I'm dead ass. Makes me thirsty, actually. Damn. But anyway. Got another super chat. Rohit, we got grilled Amber on the menu today. You heard me. Facts, Rohit. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. This is going to be fantastic, y'all. This is going to be fantastic. So do me a favor, guys, as you guys start to pour in, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. I maybe had like 5 hours of sleep last night. I am exhausted, but I'm here for this, and we are about to have a good time. We're going to go through this roller coaster ride. So send those likes all the way up. Get them past 100 real quick as you guys start to pour in. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to every single last one of y'all. And for those of y'all who are first-time viewers of this show, welcome to the Pascal Show. Hit that subscribe button, all right? We are marching our way towards 100,000 subscribers, so help a brother out. Hit that subscribe button and be a part of the Pascal Show family. Now, here it is, guys. Here it is. We already see what's been going on yesterday. Are we going to get the same Camille Vasquez as we got yesterday? Or is she going to let up on her a little bit? I mean, she can't go a whole day. She can't go 7-8 hours. She can't go 7-8 hours on just railing on her, right? No, she could. She could. Why lie? Why lie? You know what I'm saying? Let's keep it straight real. Oh my gosh, she gonna hurt this woman. Oh my God, it's just amazing. So, like I said, woo, what a day. What a day yesterday, and we got more to go. And they only scraped the surface. This was only the tip of the iceberg. It was just the tip, okay, yesterday. So Amber's got a very, very long day ahead of her. I'm going to be real. This is going to be a very long day for her. Mark my words. I was so wrong yesterday when I said, yeah, they'll probably finesse. They'll probably be nice and work into her, and then they'll find something and they'll just attack. She went straight in. So I'm wondering how she's going to do that. Is she going to do the same tactic today? We're about to watch. Things about to go off, y'all, and it's going to be glorious. Enjoy, because I am. Okay. Jury's about to walk in. Amber Heard's walking over in another pantsuit. This is going to be glorious. Still looks like she's auditioning for There Will Be Blood. I will say that. I'm going to turn this down as we wait. Or maybe she's trying to audition for a new version, of the all-female cast version of Glengarry Glen Ross. You know what I mean? ABC, always be closing. You know what I mean? Local Trees, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. It's on and popping. We about to go. And it's funny how Vasquez is wearing all white right now. Oh, my God. Was this a choice? It was a choice. Let's go. Happy viewing, guys.
Good morning, Ms. Heard.
Good morning.
Your relationship with Mr. Depp began in October of 2011, right?
That's correct.
And you previously testified multiple times under oath that the first year of your relationship with Mr. Depp was the best of times, right, Ms. Heard?
That is correct.
You testified that as far as you could tell, Mr. Depp was sober that first year.
That is correct. That's what I used to believe.
And that the first year was, quote, magic.
Yes, I always estimated it was about a year.
But now you've told this jury that Mr. Depp was being violent with you throughout 2012, haven't you, Ms. Heard?
No, he took a break in the middle of 2012 when he was sober.
You told them that he was hitting you in 2012, though. Is that right?
He was hitting me in 2012. He just took a break in the middle.
Took a break.
He was smashing things around you, right?
He did.
And you told them that Mr. Depp was in and out of sobriety in 2012.
That is correct.
You told this jury that in 2012, I was in the beginning stages of this, just learning these patterns. I was learning that drinking kind of correlated with the violence, end quote. Is that right?
That is correct.
So it was during these cycles of violence in 2012 that you gave Mr. Depp a knife as a gift.
I gave him a knife, I think for a birthday present early in our relationship. I believe it was around 2012, but I'm not certain.
We've seen a picture of that knife, but I think we should bring out the real thing.
Oh, wow.
Master Deputy Halusa, Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, may I please have you show the knife to Ms. Heard?
I want the knife. Please. Oh, wow.
Yes, that's it.
That's the knife you gave to the man who was hitting you, right, Ms. Heard?
I wasn't worried he was going to stab me with it when I gave it to him. That's for certain.
But you gave it to him while he was abusing you, allegedly.
I gave it to him that year.
Master Deputy Sheriff Halusa, will you please show the knife to the jury? Thank you. This is the knife you gave to the man who would get drunk and violent with you, right?
This is the same knife that I gave him as a present in 2012, yes.
Now, Ms. Heard, I'm going to need to talk to you about what happened in Australia in March of 2015. You've testified that at some point during the incident you described, you witnessed Mr. Depp bashing a phone against a wall, right?
That is correct.
You testified that the phone was breaking into pieces.
I was watching it disappear.
And Mr. Depp smashed it, I think your word was smithereens.
Yes, that is correct.
And according to your testimony, this was a wall-mounted phone in the bar area.
That is correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1820. I believe this has already been admitted into evidence, if we could have it published. Thank you. You saw this photo during your direct examination, right?
That is correct.
And you testified that the wall-mounted phone that you saw Mr. Depp smash is on the wall on the left.
That's correct. So if you were looking at this picture, the wall-mounted phone would have been behind you on the left-hand side of your shoulder.
But it's not depicted in this photo, correct?
Whoever took this photo standing right in front of where that mounted phone was.
That's convenient. The pieces of the phone Mr. Depp smashed aren't in this picture either, right?
Yeah.
You don't see it because it's whoever took this photo standing in front of that.
What?
Whoever took this photo, it's Mr. Ben King, correct?
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Mr. King testified under oath in this trial, right?
That is correct.
And he testified that there was no wall-mounted phone smashed to smithereens that he had to replace, correct?
I didn't hear him testify to that, no.
Oh, come on.
He did. Your counsel elicited it.
I disagree with that representation.
You also saw this picture. Actually, can we please bring up Defendant's Exhibit 1821, which is also admitted into evidence? You also saw this picture during your direct examination, correct?
That is correct.
And so this is the bar area to the right of the wall-mounted phone you just described.
If you were facing in that direction, if you're facing this direction, it would be behind you.
This phone on the counter isn't the phone that got smashed to smithereens, is it?
No, they brought that out during my testimony in the UK as well. And I said this in the UK trial as well, that is not the phone, obviously, because that one's not smashed and it's not wall mounted.
Yeah, so there are two phones in the bar area.
There was a wall mounted phone. I don't know if it was decorative or what, but it was what, like it looked antique, large and antique.
And what the large and antique one that's not depicted in any photograph, including ones you took, is the one that Mr. Depp damaged, correct?
That is correct. I only took pictures of the mirrors.
So there's no picture of that damaged phone?
I didn't take a picture of it, no.
Okay.
Then
So back to the phone smashing. You watched Mr. Depp smash the phone, right?
That's correct. I watched it.
And you testified that you were, quote, watching the phone every single time he pulled his hand back, end quote.
That's correct.
And according to you, this is when Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger, right?
It is my best guess. I didn't notice his finger come off, obviously. I was watching him smash the phone and watching the pieces break while he was doing it.
Well, it's not your best guess, Ms. Heard.
That is my best guess, yes.
Okay. let's go back to
Oh, God.
my questions.
The game of
You
semantics.
submitted a declaration under the penalty of perjury in this case. Do you remember that?
That is correct.
Okay, let's look at that declaration.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Shoot, a whole Bible. Woo, they came ready, y'all. She's like, dang, look at this.
If we could direct your attention, Ms. Hurd, to the page 14 of the declaration. Is that your signature?
Yes, it is.
And your signature appears right under the statement, quote, I declare under penalty of perjury, under the laws of the state of Virginia, that the foregoing is true and correct.
That is correct.
And this is dated April 10th, 2019.
Correct.
Oh, she's
Now
in
let's look at
trouble.
paragraph 16, which is on page 5.
Oh, shoot. They're going to hit her for perjury, y'all. Give it time. Give it time. They're going to hit her for perjury.
Specifically line 10.
Oh, snap.
Quote, you write, testify under oath.
Oh, man.
While he was smashing the phone, Johnny severely injured his finger, cutting off the top of it. End
Yep.
quote.
Yep.
Did I read that correctly?
Yep.
Yes, that's correct.
So you testified in this courtroom that after Mr. Depp smashed the phone, he held you down on the countertop by the neck. Do you remember that?
I'm not quite sure of the exact sequence of things, but yes, both of those things happened.
We'll get to the sequence. And this is when Mr. Depp supposedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
On the countertop, he assaulted me.
So Mr. Depp was able to get you on the counter, right?
He held me down by my neck.
And hold you down by your neck.
That is correct.
And he grabbed a bottle, according to you, while holding you down by the neck, correct?
I'm sorry, can you clarify what you're asking me?
Oh, my God.
While Mr. Depp is holding you by the neck against the countertop, he grabs a bottle. That's your testimony.
No, those two things didn't happen at the exact same time, no.
Oh, kill
While
me.
he's holding the bottle, is that your testimony?
He
While
was holding
holding you
my-
down by the neck?
Sorry. What was your question?
Your testimony is, Ms. Hurd, that either he has the bottle before or after he's holding you by the neck on the counter. Is that your testimony?
He held me by the neck on the counter.
Where's the bottle that he
At
assaulted
what
with
point?
while holding you down by your neck?
When he was assaulting me with the bottle, it was in his hand.
Was it in his hand before or after he holds you down by your neck?
I was being held down while he assaulted me with the bottle.
Good morning, Nur.
When he puts you on the counter,
Good morning,
does
everybody.
he have the bottle in his hand? Yes or no?
As I have always said, I don't remember exactly what happened first, or I don't remember the sequence. I just remember being aware that I was being assaulted by a bottle while I was on the countertop.
So he penetrates you with this bottle. But you don't know how he got the bottle, right?
That is correct.
And he did that right after he lost the tip of his right middle finger.
Again, I don't remember the exact sequence of those events.
We'll get to the sequence.
Yeah,
And
we'll
while he
get
was
to
on
it.
8 to 10 MDMA pills, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about the sequence.
Come on with it.
This is the sequence of events you testified to in this courtroom. That he smashed the phone to smithereens and then assaulted you, lost the tip of his finger, and then assaulted you with a bottle. Yes, that's the sequence of events that you testified to in this courtroom.
To be clear, you're putting it in order when you say words like then. I have never claimed that I can remember the exact sequence of these things. This was a multi-day assault that took place over 3 horrible days.
Ms.
It's the
Hurd,
worst thing ever
Ms.
Ms.
happened to
Hurd,
me. I
we're
don't
not talking,
remember
Ms.
the
Hurd,
exact
that's not my
sequence.
question. My question isn't about the 3-day
Oh, dear
assault
God.
allegedly that occurred. I'm just talking about the sexual assault that you now allege occurred.
Good morning, Debbie.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Let's talk about the sequence.
Oh, my dear God. Oh, my God. Let's talk about this sequence.
So you testified.
Oh, my God. Oh.
Yeah, I know. I just realized that. Do you have a copy?
She tends to
I gave it to you yesterday.
you remember she went
Court
through
transcript?
the whole breakdown tears in her eyes and everything, gruesome details. And now she's sitting here saying she doesn't remember the sequence of events. That doesn't make sense.
Yes.
This woman's committing perjury on the stand. This is bad. This is really, really bad.
Sir, do you have a copy of day 16 in front of you?
Day 16? Yes, of
Court
my
transcript?
deposition.
Yes.
I don't mean to
No,
laugh.
of
I'm
the
sorry.
court transcript from this trial.
Oh,
This
Yes.
is
I
bad.
didn't realize that. Yeah. I do.
This is bad. Good
Let's look
morning,
at the
everybody.
transcript.
Good morning, everybody coming
So
in.
you testified on page,
Hit that like
I'm
button.
getting there, 4506.
Hit that like button, please. Hit that subscribe button as well if you haven't done it yet. We on for a very interesting and amazing roller coaster ride today. Let's go. Yes, remember, a truth a person can tell their version regardless of sequence. Oh, that's absolutely correct. If they remember everything, they're going to remember it forwards and backwards, upside down. If they're being waterboarded, or if they're just standing in the middle of the sun, having a great conversation, sharing a cocktail, they're going to remember every single detail verbatim.
All right.
There? Okay.
You don't change it up and,
The reason
and
that we
lie.
need to go through this, Ms. Hurd, is because we understand that these are very serious allegations that you're making, right?
Absolutely.
It was horrible. What happened to me? Yes.
Okay, so let's go through them. Page 4506, line 2 through 3. I sit here now.
Love you too, Lacey.
You testified on page 4506. This all started when Mr. Depp took 8 or 10 pills of MDMA, right?
10.
That is correct.
Then,
Man.
directing your attention to page 4518. Line 19. You talk about Mr. Depp smashing a wall-mounted phone, correct?
That is correct.
Then on page 4519, at line 3, you testified that while Mr. Depp is smashing the phone, he is screaming, quote, "I fucking hate you," end quote, right?
Yes, he was screaming that, among other things.
And further down on page 4519, same page, lines 12 through 19, you talk about how you watched Mr. Depp smash the phone to smithereens, right?
That is correct.
Then, continuing on the same page, 4519, line 20, you say something really important. Quote, "At some point, he's on top of me.
Facts.
No phone, but screaming the same thing," end quote, right?
I just remember the sound. Yes.
Of silence.
So you remember, and you testified to this jury that he didn't have the phone in his hand anymore.
When he was assaulting me with the bottle,
Right.
he had the bottle in his hand. When he was punching the wall with the phone, he had the phone in his hand. When he was punching the wall next to my head, he had me by the throat. He did a lot of things that night.
So you're acknowledging by this sequence, not my words, your words, Ms. Hurd, that you testified to this jury that Mr. Depp smashed the phone to smithereens before he assaulted you. That's the sequencing in which you testified, correct?
I have never testified to a sequence.
Keep talking about that sequence. Then on
Yeah.
page 4521, starting at line 3, you testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
Okay.
May they approach. Okay. Okay, guys. I appreciate everybody who's starting to file in and everything. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. I know it's early and all that, but hey, they shoot. Camille had her drinks, had her cup of coffee. She had a couple shots of espresso today because we already talking about the bottle incident. She ready. I was like, man, isn't it too early in the morning to talk about that kind of assault? That gruesome kind of assault? But let's keep it real, y'all. Let's keep it straight funky. This woman is now backtracking. She's been backtracking since yesterday. Everything that she has testified has come back to say could possibly be lies. Given the fact that she's also trying to play with words. If you notice, she's trying to play with her words. She's trying to be crafty. So she's like, well, the sequence of events, that's not exactly, I just don't remember the actual sequence of events. And then, of course, Camille's like, well, you talk about a sequence of events. You keep telling us about what he did beat by beat. And now you're saying you don't remember it beat by beat? Makes no sense. So she's trying to get Camille on semantics, and that's BS.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 4521, starting at line 3. You testified to being bent over backwards on the bar, right?
That is correct.
She testified.
And then feeling pressure on your pubic bone like Mr. Depp was punching you.
Yep.
Yes?
That's what I thought.
And then further down on page 4521 and on to 4522, you testified that you were concerned Mr. Depp was using a broken bottle on you. Yes?
That was my fear.
Okay.
That's what I remember feeling.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit
Justice for Boo.
1816.
Justice for Boo. Oh, God.
Which has already been admitted.
Oh.
Thank you. You saw this picture during your direct examination, right?
I did.
She's
And
been
you
watching.
testified that this is a picture of the bottles that were next to Mr. Depp on a desk when you found him drinking in the morning, right?
That's correct.
And this was the morning after Mr. Depp had allegedly sexually assaulted you,
Thanks.
right?
It was the morning after he did assault me. Yes.
And if I understood your testimony correctly, you testified that this is the Maker's Mark bottle that Mr. Depp sexually assaulted you with.
Meh.
I was never sure it was, but it was definitely that shape. Felt like that shape.
See,
But you testified in this
backtracking.
courtroom that you had not seen this bottle until Ben King provided these photographs, correct?
And not in the course of the trial. I hadn't seen the photograph.
There's still liquor in that biz nine.
You claim you had serious injuries after this alleged incident, right, Ms. Heard?
Depends on what you would call serious. For me, having a sore jaw and some bruises at the time of my relationship wasn't that serious.
Okay, let's testify.
relative.
Let's focus on the testimony that you gave about the injuries.
No kidding.
Mr. Depp, as you testified yesterday, wears rings on every finger, right?
Sometimes. I mean, often.
Now she's
And
backtracking.
certainly in the later part of our relationship, that was more normal than not. But if he's filming or something like that, of course, he's not going to have his own jewelry on.
Damn
Your
right, Madeline.
testimony
Like a
in this
mug.
trial was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, correct?
You need to put your microphone on, Miss.
She don't know how to use the
Objection,
microphone.
Your Honor.
There we go.
Improper impeachment. If she's going to ask her question, then she has to show where that was and then.
I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Keep going, Camille. You're doing
Your
just
testimony
fine.
yesterday was, quote, I don't know if I've ever known Johnny not to wear rings, right,
That's-
Ms. Heard?
That's what I testified to. Yes.
And he was wearing rings on every finger in Australia, correct?
Not all the time, not literally every single ring, every single day, but he often wears rings.
Not often, Ms. Heard. Your words are, I've never known Johnny not to wear rings on every finger.
That is what I testified to.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
And you testified that you bled as a result of this sexual assault, correct?
That is correct.
And you testified that your forearms were cut
My forearms and my feet.
and your feet were sliced up.
That's correct.
And you testified you had a bruise across your jaw.
That is correct.
What nerve?
And there is not a single medical record reflecting treatment for any of those injuries, is there, Ms. Heard?
I didn't seek treatment.
Why?
And the day after you sustained all these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came to the house in Australia, right?
Well, he came the third day along with security.
The day after you sustained these injuries, Dr. David Kipper came along with nurse Debbie Lloyd, correct?
Well, that fight went into the morning, like early hour morning. So technically that last day.
God. Why you always lie?
Dr. David Kipper is Mr. Depp's, or was Mr. Depp's physician, right?
I believe he still is.
But he
Yes.
was at the time.
Yes, that's correct.
And he was also your physician.
He also saw me.
No, not saw you. He was your physician, correct, Ms. Heard?
Johnny was the client, but he also treated me.
Oh my God.
All right, let's please pull up. Do you remember
Camilla's
giving
got an-
testimony in this
she's
case in a
having
deposition, Ms. Heard?
Yes, I do. I've given a couple.
She's giving
If we
attitude.
could please
Camilla don't have time
pull
today.
up the deposition transcript, day 2,
Hamburger.
at 589, lines 6 through 8.
Lying. Oh my God. Stop effing lying. She lying. She just lying.
Thank you.
She the Lion King. Machiwanya baba bichi baba. Just lying.
Your Honor, we're going to play Ms. Heard's deposition for the jury. Lines, day 2, page
So
540,
bad.
lines 6 through 9. We have permission to publish it.
Hamburger. Indeed.
Excuse me, I'm sorry, day 2, page
Hamburger.
589, line 6 through 8.
All right, if you could just give us a minute to get
Of course.
there.
Oh
589.
my
I'm
God.
sorry, what were the lines again?
Page 589, lines 6 through 8.
Did you say
Oh, I'm
540
so
or 580?
done.
589,
I'm so done.
lines 6 through 8.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, I
I
got
have no
jokes
objection.
today. I got the jokes today. Just wait you and see. Oh my
And he
Lord.
was your doctor at this point, right?
Yes, he was.
That was fast.
Debbie
But she
Lloyd
said
also
yes.
came to the house that day.
Yes, she came with Kipper.
Miss Lloyd is a nurse, correct?
That is correct.
Malcolm Connolly also came to the house that day.
Yes, that's correct.
Mr. Connolly is one of the security guards, correct?
That is correct.
You had known Mr. Connolly for years at that point.
Yes, that's correct.
You flew back to Los Angeles the next day with Ben King. Is that right?
I can't be certain if it was the next day or the day after, but somewhere around there, yes.
And the day you arrived back in Los Angeles, you saw Travis McGivern, correct?
I don't recall seeing Travis, no.
You don't recall Mr. McGivern picking you up from the airport with Ben King?
I don't remember that, no.
And the same day, you also saw your own nurse, Erin Barem Filati, that day, correct? The day you arrived in Los Angeles?
I don't recall if I saw her that day.
You saw Ms. Filati's testimony in this case by video deposition, correct?
That is correct.
And you heard her
Gosh.
testify that she saw you the day you arrived back from Australia on March 9th, 2015.
I believe she testified that she came to dinner where I was with friends. Yeah, I believe that.
The
So
next
she saw
day.
you that day.
Oh my God.
I believe that evening I saw her at dinner.
And then you saw Erin Barem Filati again the next day for a private meeting, didn't you?
Oh.
I'm not sure if that's what she testified to. I'd have to just see the records to know.
You heard her testify according to her notes. She met with you privately on March 10th, 2015.
She met with me at some point upon my arrival, but I don't remember the exact date.
And when you were in Australia, Ms. Heard, you didn't take any pictures of the injuries you claim to have sustained, right?
I did not take any pictures, no.
But you did take 2 pictures.
Of the mirrors. I took 2 pictures of the bathroom mirrors that
Makes no
was
sense.
the master bathroom where I was.
You have time
Let's please
for,
pull up Defendant's Exhibit 374, which is already in evidence.
you have time to take photos of mirrors, but you don't have time to take photos of your own, the
You
damage
took
to your
this
face.
picture, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, that's correct.
And this is a mirror in the bathroom in Australia.
That's correct.
And this black
Bad.
paint on the mirror is from Mr. Depp.
That is correct.
Okay.
He wrote on the mirror in black paint after his finger was cut off, right?
Yes, I only know that because there was blood as well as paint.
So you took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his fingers, correct?
Where's the
This
blood?
was while I was packing when I was leaving.
That's a
That's when I
yes,
took the
right,
photo.
Ms. Heard?
What's the question? I'm sorry.
You took this picture after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And you took this picture after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp, yes?
That's correct.
Yet you didn't capture yourself in the mirror, did you?
I don't see myself in the mirror, no.
Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 375.
Bruh.
You took this picture as well, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And this is from one of the bathroom mirrors in Australia.
That's correct.
This is also a picture taken after Mr. Depp had injured his finger.
That's correct.
And this is also a picture taken after you had allegedly been assaulted by Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You didn't capture yourself in the mirror in this picture either, did you?
I do not see myself in the mirror in that picture.
Is that because you didn't have any visible injuries on you?
It's because I was taking a picture of the writing.
Let's talk about the writing on this mirror.
Let's do that, shall we?
So the writing in black paint is from Mr. Depp, correct?
It's all from Mr. Depp.
No.
And it's your
not.
testimony under oath that you did not write the red text that says, quote, "Call Carly Simon. She said it better, babe," end quote.
That's correct.
Because if you did write that, it means that your husband was walking around the house bleeding from his amputated finger, and you're writing snarky messages to him on a mirror, right?
I don't know what your question to me is. I'm sorry.
Let's please take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 1830. And I believe this picture is also admitted into evidence.
Oh my God. This is
That's correct.
This is a picture of the same mirror, right?
That's correct.
But you didn't take this picture.
No, I did not.
This is the one that Ben King took.
And I don't see him in the mirror either.
I don't believe he claimed he had injuries, though. Is that right?
I did not hear Ben King talk about his injuries, no.
Okay. So you would agree, Ms. Heard, that the black text on the mirror says, quote, "She loves naked photos of herself. So modern, so hot."
I had not read that yet. I mean, before, but yeah, that's what it says.
But you were taking pictures of the text, but you had not read that before?
I haven't seen this. It didn't make sense to me at the time when I read it in person.
Okay. Again, Mr. Depp wrote that.
I don't know who else would have.
So, Ms. Heard, just to be clear, it's your testimony that Mr. Depp also wrote the message in red about Carly Simon saying it better, right?
That's correct.
You know Carly Simon sang the song "You're So Vain," right?
I was told that.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was writing messages to himself in the mirror back and forth.
The best I can describe it is it looked like a crazy conversation. It was on the walls, it was
With
on
himself.
lampshades, it was on cushions.
It's your testimony the crazy conversation was with himself.
That's what it looked like from the bloody messages I found.
And you would agree
Wow.
with me that in this photograph, the red text has been smudged with black paint, right?
Yes.
Let's please pull up, if we can, Defendant's Exhibit 375 again. The black smudge isn't in this picture that you took, right?
That's correct.
So Mr. Depp must have not liked his own message to himself.
I'm not quite sure what was happening when Ben took his photograph, no.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's
Wow.
Exhibit 343, which is already in evidence, and play the portion from 157:21 through 158:54. It's a recording, Your Honor.
It's not to get you mad. It's not to get. It's just to get out of a bad situation while it's happening before it gets worse. In Australia, when we had the big fight where I lost the tip of my finger, at least 5 bathrooms and 2 bedrooms I went to
avoid talking to me, to avoid
escape
working it out. That's
to
the
escape
problem.
the fight.
You don't escape the fight. You escape the solution.
No.
You escape the solution.
No.
You escape figuring it out. We cannot work it out if you run away to the bathroom every time.
Listen to me. Listen to me. A boxer can't go 12 rounds without a fucking minute break.
I'm not giving you a minute break. You do it at minute 3 at the beginning of an argument.
No. There are rounds, man. And when it gets too fucking hairy, the ref splits them apart or whatever. But all I'm saying is you can't have a solution if the argument just keeps mounting and mounting and mounting and mounting. I fucking go into the bathroom and sit on the floor. Bam, bam, bam. Here you come. I come out. Fight. Crazy. Escalated. I split again. I go to another fucking bathroom or a bedroom or something. Knock. Bang, bang, bang. You kept coming to get me.
Yeah.
This is what really happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
I did knock on a bathroom door on the first night.
Not a bathroom door, 5 bathroom doors and 2 bedrooms. Isn't that
Johnny
right?
is not an accurate historian of what happened during
Ms.
that
Heard, Ms.
period
Heard,
of time. I'll guarantee
Ms.
you
Heard, that's not my question. 5
Answer the
bathroom
question.
doors, 2 bedrooms. That's what you knocked on.
that.
That's what actually happened in Australia, isn't it, Ms. Heard?
I was there.
So that's a
I
no?
remember it. I knocked on one bathroom door. I came on the first night after he decided to take the bag of MDMA,
Ms.
And I
Heard,
went to check
Ms.
on
Heard,
him and see
I'm going to
if we
move to
could-
strike everything after I knocked on one bathroom
She
door.
can't do that. She's answering the question.
Not quite, so I will sustain the objection. Just answer the question, okay, ma'am?
Answer the damn question.
The recording we just listened to, that's exactly what happened in Australia. Mr. Depp lost the tip of his finger after you threw a bottle at him. Isn't that right?
That is incorrect.
You're the one who assaulted someone with a bottle in Australia. Isn't that right, Ms. Heard?
I didn't assault Johnny in Australia. I didn't assault Johnny ever. I couldn't.
And then after he was injured, he had to hide from you, right?
That is
In
incorrect.
5 bathrooms, 2 bedrooms.
That is incorrect.
And you would pursue him
That is incorrect.
because he was avoiding talking to you, right?
He did that first night when
he was
I tried to
avoiding-
talk to him about the drugs.
And he was avoiding working it out.
No, he was avoiding agreeing to not fight about the drugs.
You weren't scared of him at all, were you?
I have a mixed relationship with Johnny, and one in which I'm scared, one in which I love him very much.
I'm not talking about your mixed relationship. That night in Australia, after you cut off his finger with a bottle, you weren't scared of him at all, were you?
This is a man who tried to kill me. Of course, it's scary. He's also my husband.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's
What?
been marked as Defendant's Exhibit
Okay.
371.
Okay. Okay. Oh my God. He's still my husband. I'm sorry. Somebody trying to kill you, then they just trying to kill you.
Do
They,
not believe these have been
wife, doesn't
admitted into
matter.
evidence.
They
No.
that ain't wife and or husband no
I
more.
don't have-
That's somebody trying to kill your ass. Period.
If we could
Oh my
scroll
God.
down, please.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Ms. Bretterhoff, if you don't have your
Okay.
microphone on, I cannot hear you. You still don't have it on.
Learn how to use technology.
Redacted. Oh. I need to
Right.
take a look at the unredacted for a minute, Your Honor. Just bear with me.
All right.
I'm not admitting it into evidence yet. I would like to just
Okay. you
talk
can
to the
ask
witness about it
Go
if I
ahead.
could. Thank you, Your Honor.
Man, she ain't even warmed up yet. Damn, Camille. Let's go.
Ms. Heard, I'm going to show you what's been marked as Defendant's Exhibit 371. Do you recognize these text messages between you and Dr. Cowan?
I don't recognize these, no.
Who's Dr. Cowan?
He was my therapist that was recommended to me from Dr. Kipper. He and Dr. Kipper worked together.
He was your therapist at the time, correct?
That's correct.
And you had been seeing him for almost a year in March of 2015?
My guess would be about 6 months at that point.
Your text messages are in gray, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that she show her the unredacted so that she can see the text exchange back
All
and
right,
forth
if you
if
can-
she wants to talk
Absolutely.
about
All right, we'll
moving
pull that
in
up. Sure.
redacted later.
Let's go ahead.
Thank you.
Pull it up.
Now I want some Crystal Light, yo. Now I need to get some coffee. I left that in the other room. I need to go get my coffee real quick. I'm gonna jump. I mean, the stream is still gonna go on, but I might be gone for like 2 minutes while I get my coffee.
Seeing these unredacted messages, does this refresh your recollection that these are indeed communications between you and Dr. Cowan?
Yes, that's correct.
Doctor, your text messages are in gray, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And Dr. Cowan's are in blue?
That is correct.
You see the text message at the bottom of the page from March 8th, 2015 at 8:29 p.m.?
Yes, that's correct.
March 8th is the day that you were allegedly sexually assaulted by Mr. Depp in Australia, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
So on March 8th, 2015, you were in Australia,
I want to go get coffee.
That
but
is
I don't-
correct.
But I don't want
and
to
Mr.
leave.
Depp's finger had just been cut off, right?
That is correct.
And you write to Dr. Cowan, quote, "I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change," end quote. Did I read that correctly?
Ooh.
That's correct.
You weren't able to change, were you, Ms. Heard?
Blam.
I very much wanted to leave the relationship I was in, but I didn't have the power. I didn't feel I had the power to leave. I knew I was in a very toxic relationship with Johnny, and I knew I needed to change that. I knew it was, at this point, horrible for me. And I
I'm gonna
talked to
move
my
to
therapist
admit
often about that.
Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted with just Ms. Heard's messages.
All right.
Your Honor, I object because she has left out the next two lines from Ms. Heard that clarify even further. And I also think
Ms.
that Dr.
Bredehoff,
Cowan's.
Could you
Your
show
Honor,
me
may
just-
we
yeah,
please
let's go.
approach?
Let's-
This is just ridiculous. Okay, guys. This is amazing. This is absolutely amazing. This is a cakewalk for Camille and Team Depp. Because if you don't have evidence, hard evidence, then you ain't got nothing. And you can see this woman is falling apart. Look at her. Trying to keep herself together, trying to keep cool, because she knows for a fact all the ish that she's saying are lies. Now I'm hearing, I heard some stories that she might be under some investigation for perjury, and she could face jail time for what she's doing right now, for being on the stand, lying left and right. Literally. This is insane, y'all. Yeah. Okay. This is just there shouldn't have been a trial. There shouldn't have been 5 weeks of trials. This is bad. This is not going to be. Yeah, this is kind of one of those Perry Mason moments for sure. This is a Perry Mason moment, big time. And yeah, I'm just waiting for like the paralegal or the little investigator for Perry Mason and Matlock to come busting through the doors with like hard evidence to prove that, Johnny's innocent type thing. I'm waiting for somebody to do that. That will fully encompass this entire Perry Mason Matlock show that we're watching right now. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna get coffee.
Admit Defendant's Exhibit 371 as redacted.
All right, 371 in evidence as redacted over objection. Yes, ma'am.
If you can publish that to the jury, thank you. So you write, Ms. Heard, to Dr. Cowan, I feel so lost. I can't talk. I don't know if I'll ever be able to change. Right?
And I said, I clearly can't figure this out, meaning the relationship.
You didn't say that. You
I
said,
did.
not the relationship. Your text messages, clearly I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
What I was saying to him
No,
is
Ms.
clearly I
Heard,
can't
Ms.
figure
Heard,
this
Ms.
out.
Heard,
in
that's
the
not my question.
relationship.
The text, just the text.
That's exactly what I was saying.
What you texted. Clearly, I can't figure this out. I feel so lost right now.
That's what
right.
I was saying.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Heard, do you contend?
Your Honor, just for clarification, so those two next lines did come in.
They are in the redacted
Okay,
copy.
good. All right, thank you.
Ms. Heard, do you contend that there's another incident of abuse in March of 2015 after you and Mr. Depp returned from Australia? Is that correct?
That's correct.
And this incident took place on March 23rd, 2015?
That's correct.
And this supposedly occurred in the Penthouse at the Eastern Columbia building?
That's correct.
You had found text messages between Mr. Depp and another woman, right?
That is correct.
So you confronted him about cheating on you.
That's correct.
And this was about 2 weeks after you had returned from Australia.
That's correct.
So this is shortly after Mr. Depp supposedly sexually assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was 2 weeks after he assaulted me, yes.
And you decided to confront him about cheating on you?
I didn't decide to. I wanted to.
Mr. Depp's finger was freshly injured at this point, right?
He had a cast on it.
The top of his right finger had been cut off 2 weeks prior.
That is correct.
And he had a pin in his finger, true?
I don't recall when the pen was placed.
A skin graft?
I'm not quite sure. He had several different procedures and they were kind of spread out over a period of time. So I don't remember what happened and when
One of those
exactly.
procedures was to treat the MRSA that got on his finger too, right?
At some point, I knew he had an infection.
And his right hand was in a bandage, right?
It was casted.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Depp was able to attack both you and your sister with his hand in that state, right?
That is correct. He had a hard plaster cast on it.
Debbie Lloyd was present in the penthouses when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, you claim that Mr. Depp threw a Red Bull can at Miss Lloyd that evening.
Yes, that's correct.
And you put in a sworn statement to that effect in the UK case, right?
That is correct.
But that's not true, is it?
That's what happened.
You know what a deposition is, right, Ms. Heard?
I've had several, yes.
Yeah, so you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath.
That is correct.
You're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case, correct?
That is true.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial, right?
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approach?
All right.
Why can't you? Oh God! See, this is what's going to happen. As soon as she starts getting more and more warmed up, getting closer and closer to more and more hairy stuff, they're going to start sitting. Objections are going to be starting to fly. Okay. Seriously, that's it. You know, damn right. I got my coffee. Now I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Had a very lazy morning. So McDonald's breakfast I had, but no, it's not. This show is not sponsored by McDonald's, but McDonald's, holla at your boy. I had to, because yeah, it's been a long couple days, but definitely.
So in a
needed some
deposition,
coffee.
Ms. Heard, you know it's when someone provides testimony under oath, right?
That's correct.
And you're aware that Miss Lloyd was deposed in connection with this case.
That's correct.
And Miss Lloyd's deposition testimony was played earlier in this trial.
Yes.
So you heard Miss Lloyd testify under oath that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her.
I can't remember if she didn't recall that, or if she said it didn't happen. I don't remember. I vaguely sense she didn't recall anything.
So it's your testimony that Miss Lloyd would forget that Mr. Depp, a very famous patient of hers, threw a can of Red Bull that nearly missed her, according to your version of events?
To be fair, I just don't remember if she said when she testified that she didn't recall that incident, or if it didn't happen. I don't remember what she testified to, but I have a vague sense that she didn't recall much at all.
She recalled, and she testified in this courtroom, that Mr. Depp never threw a can of Red Bull at her. That was her testimony, wasn't it?
I don't recall what her testimony was with regards to that one incident, no.
You actually filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license right before she was supposedly deposed in this case, didn't you?
No, I don't believe I did.
Are you aware that someone filed a complaint against Miss Lloyd's nursing license in connection with her care of Mr. Depp for failing to report abuse?
No, I had no idea. You're the first person to let me know about that.
It's your testimony under oath, that wasn't you?
That is my testimony. I didn't even know about that until now.
Travis McGivern was also present when Mr. Depp supposedly attacked you, correct?
He walked in at some point.
And you heard his testimony that it was actually you who punched Mr. Depp. Isn't that right?
It's always been my own testimony that I hit Johnny.
And you who was throwing things at Mr. Depp.
I hit him in defense of my sister. I didn't have anything to throw at him. I never threw anything at him. I hit him when he attacked me and my sister, specifically when he moved for her. That's when I hit him.
So it's your testimony under oath. You threw nothing at Mr. Depp. Mr. McGivern's lying.
I have thrown things at Johnny,
No,
to be clear, but not that
thrown things
occasion.
that evening.
Not on that occasion.
So it's your testimony, Mr. McGivern. Imagine that you were throwing things at Mr. Depp from the mezzanine level down towards where Mr. Depp and Mr. McGivern were standing.
Well, he certainly wasn't going to say it about his client.
Oh boy.
Ms. Heard, you and Mr. Depp kept a journal together, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
You wrote each other messages in that journal, right?
That is true.
That's sweet, I
If we could
guess.
please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 91.
Right?
I'm only going to be showing you certain portions of this, so if we could please call this Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A. This is the journal that you and Mr. Depp kept with each other in electronic form, correct?
That is correct.
That's a
And
victory
if you
gulp right there.
could scroll
Johnny just
through,
took.
these are all entries that you made in the journal, correct?
Why does she always angle her face up like she's ready to get punched in the chin? You know what I'm saying? Like, very interesting.
Is it done?
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm going to move for the admission of Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A, and I've gone ahead and redacted Mr. Depp's writings as on hearsay grounds.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. May we approve?
Okay.
Of course. Wow. Everything. Oh my God. But notice every single time she kind of leans her head up like she's getting ready to get punched in the chin. Like she's like, come on, give me your best shot. Come on, put him up. You know what I mean? It's very interesting because I feel like she's constantly trying to think of like her eyebrows go up like they, her eyebrows are fighting that Botox. Let me tell you that. But you could tell she's like constantly trying to think of the next thing. She's trying to hear her, but she's also trying to throw off Camille a little bit. And she's trying to ride on that ride of semantics like a mug. That's literally what she's doing. It's all about wordplay with her right now. This is incredible. Charlie Miller, what's up, man? Thank you so much. Getting my turkey sausage and cold brew for Dee Dee. Yeah, this getting good. Can't go wrong with Dunkin's. Dunkin' Donuts. From Dunkin' Donuts. Gotcha. There we go. That sounds actually really good too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was just like, I ain't moving today. I am not moving today. And Tommy B. Justice, thank you so much for being a member for 13 months. Wow. Perjury should be upheld in this case. My ex-spouse made false accusations of abuse and control and ended up being arrested for assaulting me in public. Bang.
Let's start with the first page. It's a picture.
Your Honor,
It's a picture.
Again?
they haven't given me the pages yet. Your Honor.
Then get it, mother lover. Damn.
Right
Come on,
in the
girl. Come on. Pick it up.
Sorry, Judy.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's write
Thank
it
you.
down first.
Thank you for the follow, for following me on Twitch. Seth Ian Rosen. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, all right.
If we could please publish this to the jury.
91A in evidence.
Thank you.
Over objection.
This is a picture that's on the inside cover of the Love Notebook, correct?
That's correct.
And this is a picture of you and Mr. Depp.
That's correct.
You're in Australia in this picture, aren't you?
Yes, but that's much later once we returned.
You can see that Mr. Depp's right hand is bandaged, right?
Yes, that's correct. That was after it had recovered significantly. That's not what it looked like during the incident we were just talking about.
So this is a picture after the events in Australia in March of 2015, correct?
Yeah, yes, that photograph was taken months later.
Thanks for the follow on
Can we have the
Twitch.
jury look at that photograph again, please?
Wow. What the hell? They was hanging out even
Let's
afterwards.
now turn to page 3.
Oh my God.
This is a note you wrote in the journal to Mr. Depp, correct?
That's what it looks like, yes.
This is actually the first note you wrote to him in this journal.
Nice penmanship, though.
I don't remember what the first note was.
The date on this note is May 22nd, 2015, correct?
That is correct. That was during our honeymoon period.
This is just a little bit over 2 months after the events in Australia in March of 2015, right?
That's correct. We were back in a honeymoon phase. That was the period of sobriety I spoke about yesterday.
When after Mr. Depp had allegedly assaulted you with a bottle, right?
It was after the stairs and it was after the Australia incident, yes. And
And
he got clean and sober and we went back to Australia.
It's also 2 months after you punched Mr. Depp because you allegedly thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs, right?
I hit him when he swung at my sister. And this is written months later, yes.
You thought he was going to throw your sister down the stairs like he had thrown Kate Moss down the stairs, right?
He swung at Whitney and I had heard a vague rumor about that. And so it's what I thought of.
Thanks, Tommy.
In this first message to Mr. Depp in your journal, you write, quote, true love isn't about just the madness of passion or instead picking the safety of peace. No, it's about having both, falling madly in love with your friend. That is what has surprised me perhaps the most, that I have seen in you the true bones of friendship and respect. But of course, I still, perhaps more than ever, want to rip you apart, devour you, and savor the taste. Fret not. XX Slim.
Yes, it's a love note.
Did I read that correctly?
Yes, you did.
And you're Slim, right?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, I'm now going to ask you to take a look
Slim
at the
Shady.
very last entry you wrote in this journal, which seems to be from April 8th. That would be April 8th, 2016, correct?
I'm not quite sure. I don't see the year written on there and I don't recognize it yet.
It would be a couple weeks. April 8th would be a couple weeks before your birthday, though, right?
That's correct.
Just to confirm, this is a note you wrote to Mr. Depp, right?
That's what it looks like, yes.
And on the second page of this note, you wrote the following. Quote, I'm sorry I can get crazy. I'm sorry I hurt you. Like you, I can get wicked when I am hurt, when I feel provoked, shattered. And last night I was. I felt abandoned about the Lily Rose thing, felt absolutely bewildered about your not coming home on my last night here, and was heartbroken and angry after many attempts in vain on my part to rectify the situation and make amends on the last night of what was otherwise a gorgeous trip with you. I'm so sorry for my part. None of this is meant to be an excuse for hurting you, because the truth is, nothing is. There is never a reason good enough to hurt you. You are the last thing in the whole world who deserves it. Last person I ever meant to hurt. I love you, Steve. I am forever yours, Slim. Did I read that correctly?
That's correct.
Ms. Hurd, let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 423, which is already in evidence. This is a picture of you with what appears to be straight red marks on your arms, correct?
Those are scars from the broken glass.
And they're straight and red, right?
I disagree with how you characterize that, but they are red, yes.
And they're on your left arm?
Yes, that's correct.
Ms. Hurd, you have a history of cutting yourself, don't you?
I do not.
You cut your arm once as a teenager, isn't that right?
No, I said I wanted to. When I was put on birth control pills when I was a teenager, I felt crazy, and I said I felt suicidal.
So it's your testimony under oath that you didn't report to Dr. Hughes, your retained psychologist, that you had cut yourself as a teenager once?
I said I had told my mom that I wanted to when I was a teenager.
Ms. Hurd, we heard some testimony from you yesterday about a trip you and Mr. Depp took on a train in Southeast Asia. Do you recall that?
Yes, that's correct.
That was when you and Mr. Depp went on your honeymoon trip, correct?
That's correct.
And that was in July of 2015?
Yes, that sounds right.
Let's take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 162, which is already in evidence. You were here in this courtroom, right, Ms. Hurd, when Malcolm Connolly testified to taking this picture?
That's correct.
This is the picture. This picture shows an injury to Mr. Depp's face, doesn't it?
I disagree. I've seen this picture.
Okay, Ms. Hurd,
I've seen
I
this
got the
picture
answer. Thank
before,
you.
and
You
he's
disagree?
not injured in it.
He's not injured in this picture.
Mhm.
That's your testimony. Fine.
This one is Photoshop.
Ms. Hurd,
This
I
one's,
have your answer. Thank you.
This one's photoshopped.
This is the only photograph from your honeymoon that shows someone with an injury, correct?
That's not true.
We haven't seen any photos of injuries to your face from that train trip, have we?
I don't believe my face was injured on that trip.
Let's take a look at Exhibit 91A
Okay.
at page 46, going back to the Love Journal. This is a note from you to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
This is a note you wrote on July 22nd, 2015.
That is correct.
And it starts off with the words, "My husband, happy honeymoon," right?
That's correct.
Ms. Heard, please take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 91A at page 67. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp in your journal, right?
That is correct.
And this one is dated August 1st, 2015.
That's correct.
And you write, "That's enough. You've held this book hostage long enough. Although I can't wait to read my note, I also couldn't wait to tell you how much I adore you. What a beautiful, extraordinary, magical, memorable, wonderful, stunning, surprisingly evolving, and impulsive adventure. I couldn't have imagined a more gorgeous honeymoon. I love you more and more every passing day. XX Slim." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
Let's take a look at the journal entry starting on page 68. This is another entry from you writing to Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct.
And this one's dated August 2nd.
That is correct, yes.
And this one is a longer one, so let's go to where it ends on page 70 of the journal. And you write, quote, "I hope that things said in anger and pain were just that, and that you miss and love me too. And that is what matters most to you. You may say you stand by everything you said and did, and that there is nothing you can learn from this, but I don't feel that way. And it's important for me that you know that. I love you and I'm sorry. I miss my warm, loving husband. XX Slim."
That is correct.
And sad, the word sad is crossed out.
That is true.
Next, we have a journal entry from you on
Wow.
page 89. This is another note from you to Mr. Depp.
That is correct. The whole book is love notes.
So this is dated August 15th, correct?
That is correct.
And here you write, quote, "My love, why do we fight? Ever? Why? I love you more than anything else. Are we that uncomfortable with being vulnerable? Were we scared? Or is it something else? I don't know. But I am sure of one thing. And if it's that I can't imagine my life without you. I love you. I will do better. I am sorry. X Slim." Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Your testimony, this was a love journal
That is correct. It was primarily love notes and
apology notes from you to Mr. Depp.
The book was more of a love note book, and part of that communication, obviously, since we fought so much, it was important for me to, try to nurture as much peace as we possibly could. And when things were good, they were really good.
And it was also an opportunity for you to apologize to Mr. Depp for your behavior, isn't it?
I think it's important in every relationship to apologize when you're trying to move past fights.
Let's look at an entry from August 17, 2015, starting on page 90. Here you write, quote, "I'm sorry I shook the wheels so hard. I'm sorry we've tested the shocks and brakes to this point. God damn, I love you, Johnny. I love you. I am tied to you forever. You know that? So I'm tasked with making this work for that reason and many others, of which there are many. Let me try to fix this. Let me try to patch this. Let me try to make your heart better. You deserve it. Hell, maybe even I do. I need you. We need each other. You're my cornerstone, my heart, my all. You are my life. I hate it when we fight. I hate having you hurt. I hate that you're hurting. I love you more than anything. Let me prove it. I need you. I love you. Slim.
Oh boy.
Did I read that correctly?
Yeah, another example of me trying to fix it. I was always trying to fix it.
Fix it by apologizing for your bad behavior?
I tried everything. I tried apologizing. I tried reading. I tried therapists. I tried everything to fix
But
it.
yet you couldn't change like you told Dr. Cowan, right?
I couldn't change my relationship.
Let's talk about December 15th, 2015 again. Erin Filati, your personal nurse, saw you 2 days after the incident on December 15th, 2015. Isn't that right?
She
Oh,
did
yeah?
not see me as in a medical visit. She just dropped off meds in the late at night.
She saw you personally though,
She
right?
physically saw me, but did
Yeah.
not see me in a medical sense, the way a doctor might see a patient. She did not see me in that way.
She was your personal nurse, right?
She was a nurse assigned to me. I didn't hire her. Johnny did.
She was assigned to you. And so when she would see you, it would be physically in person in your home and traveling, correct?
She would sometimes see me as like a medical professional would, and then other times she would just drop off meds and physically see me, like as in with her eyes.
Mm-hmm. I'll be on
You
later this
testified
week,
that
bro.
during the incident on December 15th, 2015, Mr. Depp broke the bed, correct?
That is correct.
And more
Thanks for the comment.
specifically, you described that he broke the bed frame with his boot while trying to get purchase. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Let's take a look at Defendant's Exhibit 509, which is already in evidence. If we could please have that published to the jury. Thank you. Ms. Hurd, this is a picture that you indicated depicts the broken bed, right?
That's exactly it.
And it's your testimony that Mr. Depp caused this damage to the bed with his boot, right?
He did.
Is that a pocket knife on the bed there?
I cannot tell what's on the bed.
Looks like a pocket
Did you
knife.
use that to damage the bed?
I did not damage the bed. Johnny's boot did when he was punching me. I could feel him slipping.
Ms. Hurd, you also testified that there was blood all over the pillows
Okay.
on the bed, correct?
On the pillow top, yes, that's correct.
But you didn't take a picture of that, though, did you?
I did not take a picture of this.
About a week after the December 15th, 2015 incident, you went with Mr. Depp and his children to the island of the Bahamas. Is that correct? To celebrate Christmas?
The incident was on the 15th and we went on the 23rd, I believe.
While you were there, you did a photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
A few days later, I think the photo shoot was about 2 weeks after this assault.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 99.
Mm.
This is a photograph of you on Mr. Depp's island shortly after December 15th, 2015, correct?
No, this was taken weeks later.
On the island, on that trip,
It was taken on the island.
on that trip,
Yes,
weeks later.
weeks later.
December 15th, you traveled to the island December 23rd? That's your
It's my
testimony?
recollection that this picture was taken on New Year's Eve or the first day of the year. I think New Year's Eve.
And this is the photo shoot with Greg Williams, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection?
All right, 99, we can publish.
Can we please have a zoom into Ms. Hurd's face? Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 100.
Oh my God. It's just more receipts of like, are you sure about that? You sure about that?
I'm going to move to admit
Oh
and
my
publish.
God.
No objection.
All right, 100 in evidence, you can publish.
Ms. Hurd, this is another picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Yes, this is the same photo shoot that you asked me about earlier. And this is several weeks later.
Several?
If we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face. Thank you, Tom. Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 101.
Man.
And I'm going to move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
Can we just have the foundation first, please?
This is a picture from the photo shoot, Ms. Hurd, that was taken on the island.
This is the same photo shoot, yes.
Then no objection, Your Honor.
All right, 101 in evidence can publish.
That's clean. That's a clean shot. No makeup, no nothing. Does she look like she has a face that's been rocked, or a face that's
Could you
healing
please scroll,
from
zoom
being
in,
rocked?
excuse me, Tom, on Ms. Hurd's face? Is your testimony, Ms. Hurd, that you were wearing makeup for this photo shoot?
That is correct. It's a photo shoot.
Are you sure about that?
If we could please pull up Exhibit 102.
Okay. Now she's saying she was wearing makeup. Come on, man. Lena,
Ms.
thank
Hurd,
you
is this
so
another
much.
picture from the photo shoot?
I can't exactly tell from the background. It looks like the same thing, but I can't really tell without it being zoomed out.
This is a picture of you, though, right?
It is a picture of me, yes.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
All right, any objection?
I'm not going to object because she identified herself. I just, if she could identify when it was taken, that would help.
I think a lot of us are cringing
But
right
I'm
now.
object- I'm not
No,
gonna object.
no objection.
objection.
Okay, there we go. 102 in evidence. You can publish.
Let's please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 103.
03.
Come on now. Did you see any bruises on her face?
Ms. Hurd, this is yet another picture of you from that Greg Williams photo shoot, correct?
That is correct. This is from the same shoot.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
No objection.
All right, 103 in evidence. Publish.
And again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face.
Okay.
And finally, if we could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 104.
Any bruises there, guys?
And Ms. Hurd, this is a picture of you from that photo shoot, correct?
Again, this is the same photo shoot weeks later.
I'm going to move to admit and publish.
What's up,
No
Berenice?
objection, Your Honor.
All right, 104 in evidence. Thank you.
Thank you, Berenice, for the $5. And yeah, hit that like button, guys, and hit that join button or that subscribe button. Correction. Sorry.
Again, if we could zoom in on Ms. Hurd's face.
Not the best photo. Not the best photo, but clearly she looks
you, Tom.
okay.
You testified that you and Mr. Depp got into a fight while on the island in December of 2015, correct?
That's correct.
And this all started
Oh.
because you perceived Mr. Depp as nodding off during the trip, right?
I thought he was passing out again in a similar fashion to what he had done the previous year.
And when he nodded off, he spilled wine on you, correct?
Yeah, 2-3 times in a row.
You testified that Mr. Depp's son, Jack, was there when this happened, right?
At the beginning, he was there.
He was there when Mr. Depp allegedly spilled wine on you 2 or 3 times, right?
He was there for that because he offered me help.
You also testified that Mr. Depp then sexually assaulted you in the bathroom, correct?
That's correct.
And you testified that after this, you needed to get away from him, right?
That is correct.
So you ran out of the house.
That's correct.
And you admit you threw something at him, right?
I did throw something in at him to get away.
You sat in this courtroom when Tara Roberts testified, right, Ms. Hurd?
I did.
She's Mr. Depp's manager on the island.
Yes, that's correct.
You heard her testify that she witnessed an argument between you and Mr. Depp on the island in December of 2015, right?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
And you heard her testify that Mr. Depp was trying to escape you, right?
I don't know if she characterized it like that, but that was the gist of it. She kind of misrepresented it to seem like that. Yes,
She misrepresented it. How convenient.
that's correct.
Okay, and then you kept apologizing to
Wow.
Mr. Depp, right? That's what
No, that's
Ms.
not
Roberts
correct.
said? Begging him to come back to the house with you.
That's not correct.
Clawing at him. She used those words.
That's not correct. When she interrupted us, Johnny had me by the hair.
Yelling at him.
We were screaming, both of us, but I don't know what she would have heard.
And that she observed an injury on Mr. Depp's nose from something that you threw at him, right?
I don't know what she observed.
You also heard Ms. Roberts testify that she included all this information in a sworn statement in the UK in May of 2020. Isn't that right?
That is correct.
You put in a witness statement in response to Ms. Roberts' statement in June of 2020. Isn't that correct? In the UK?
I did several, I think 7 witness statements, and each one contained different information as per recent filings. That's what counsel has you do in that.
And in response to
case.
previous filings, correct? Including testimony from people that contradict your story?
Sort of. So what you have to do is your counsel asks you to respond to things and you put it in a declaration of sorts. And that happens back and forth over the course of preparing to go to trial in that country. And that's what I did.
So that was your 5th witness statement submitted in the UK.
I don't recall which one I was asked to comment on Tara Roberts' testimony.
I'll remind you. If we could have Ms. Heard's 5th witness statement from the UK.
Yes, ma'am.
Man,
Thank you.
Mm.
Thank you.
Yeah, Camille does rock. She's killing it right now. Like I said, still again, she's wearing all the. She's wearing white. She's in all white. She's here to save, to be Johnny's savior.
Directing your attention, Ms. Heard, to page 6 of your 5th witness statement. It's here that you describe the December 2015 incident, correct, on the island?
I haven't read through the statement. I just don't know if I had commented on it before in a previous witness statement. As I said, there were several.
But starting on page 6, Ms. Heard, you describe the incident that took place on the island, correct?
That's correct. But what I'm trying to say is I'm not sure if I'd describe it in full in this statement.
Okay. I'm going to show you your confidential schedule to the 5th witness statement that accompanied the 5th witness statement in the UK.
She cooking it up right now, man. She in the kitchen just cooking it up. Look at the flick of the wrist. You know what I'm saying? She's killing it right now, y'all. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe, please. Get it past 500 likes. Get it past 500 likes for me real quick and hit that subscribe button. And if you're watching on Facebook, hit that follow button on Facebook too, please. That would be
In the
very
confidential
appreciated.
schedule to your 5th witness statement.
And follow me on Twitter, The Pascal Show, one word.
Paragraph 1 on page 21. You describe Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in the Bahamas of December 2015, right?
That is correct.
And that's the first time you ever claimed that Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you in the Bahamas.
That is incorrect.
You only submitted the confidential schedule in the UK claiming Mr. Depp had sexually assaulted you after Ms. Roberts had said that she saw you on the island chasing, clawing at Mr. Depp. Isn't that correct?
That is incorrect.
Excuse
You
me?
could please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit
Come on now.
394. So, Your Honor, this is another recording I can represent to the court. This only contains Mr. Depp and Ms. Heard's voices. I'm going to move to admit the entire recording. I'm only going to play from 1:17:44 through 1:20:02.
All right, any objection?
Which plaintiff exhibit, Your Honor? I'm sorry.
394.
394.
Is that the one? Are we losing this really
I
bad?
I think I have no objection. to
All
that,
right,
Your Honor.
I'll go with that. All right, 394 in evidence.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Are we losing? That's what Lane's telling to the team. Are we losing that bad right now?
I say when I say I'm going to try and change my flight, say a day or work on the mobile app, I can only do those things. And since I have been doing those things,
What What things have you been doing?
Working on this thing, not doing this sort of thing, trying to change. That's last several times.
Hence, screaming when I spilled wine accidentally on you for falling asleep, and screaming in front of my kids and freaking Jack out. And that's trying.
I would appreciate. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Johnny.
That fucked him up, you know.
I'm sorry I fucked your son up.
No, it weirded him out. It never.
I'm so sorry I fucked your kids up.
Didn't fuck my kids up, but
Wow.
it was pretty fucking weird for him, you know.
Because I jumped up and screamed because I wanted. Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm really surprised he's.
Thank you, Lulu.
So you're going for the counselor. I'm sure that's terrifying.
I don't need your
No, right, poor kid.
your clever
It's not against me again.
comebacks.
That's so-
No,
Your-
you think you're
your-
controlling yourself.
Your character
You
is-
think you're controlling
your
yourself.
character has become so clear, especially when you use them. It's embarrassing for you. I'm gonna walk away now because you're actually making me see you even worse. And believing me, I'm not gonna be calling you at 3:00 in the morning after having an Ambien and think I'm gonna just fucking forgive and move on. Trust me, it is gross how you're using the kids. I've done nothing but be there for them in a good way. And if you take that for granted, fine. You're right. Meet a woman who would not jump up and scream if she'd been spilled on 3 times in a row. And I hope you're happy with whoever that is. Because that would be a special kind of fucking person. No doubt.
Facts, Lateef.
It's you and Mr. Depp in that recording, right?
That's correct.
And you're discussing what happened in the Bahamas in December of 2015, right?
No, that's not correct. We were discussing a part of it.
You're discussing
What?
when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children, correct?
No, we were talking about a part of that argument.
Including when you screamed at Mr. Depp in front of his children.
That's not a fair characterization of what happened.
Mr. Depp says you screamed at him when he accidentally spilled wine on you, correct?
I realize that's what Johnny said.
Yeah. And Mr. Depp tells you that this freaked out his son, Jack.
Johnny often used other people to back him up in our arguments.
You don't seem too concerned about that, do you?
I had a lot of concerns.
You don't mention Mr. Depp sexually assaulting you in this recording, do you?
That was not the point of that conversation. If I had gotten into the details of what happened to me with him, it would have been another fight.
You just accused Mr. Depp of, quote, using his kids, right? In that
He would
recording.
often
misheard.
use other people, yes.
And you challenge him to find a woman who will not, quote, jump up and scream if she has been spilled on 3 times in a row.
That is correct.
Not a woman who would put up with sexual abuse, right?
I was pointing out the ridiculous nature of him expecting me not to react to something that basic.
Your Honor, would this be a good time for a break?
All right, we can do that. That's fine.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and take our morning recess for 15 minutes. Do not discuss the case with anybody. Don't do any outside research. We'll see you in 15, okay?
9:45. 9:45 it is. Okay, guys. Oh, what do you think so far? How do you think she's doing? You can see the look on her face. It is she is that is the face of defeat. That is the face of oh damn, oh my damn. It's a wrap, son. Oh my damn. Oh my damn. Indeed.
Let's go ahead and come back at 10:47 then. All right, 10:47.
Okay, 9:47 my time. All rise for the judge and the jury. Yes, this break is a good thing. I'm glad that they're doing a break now because honestly, she's getting devoured. She's getting absolutely devoured, y'all. We got 15 minutes. Holy cow. But this is the whole point. As you start to see more and more, as you start to see more and more of the truth, okay? And you see you see the courtroom getting fuller and fuller as the days get as the days go by. And of course, everybody and their mama is trying to watch this go down. Everybody wants to see the truth. They want to see the damn truth. And look at that, y'all. Unbelievable, man. Ernie, you are right. She walked out beat down. Absolutely, Ernie. See, this is what I'm saying. Now, this is why, like, because I will be completely 110% transparent with you guys. When she came out with this said op-ed, when she came out with the op-ed, when she came out saying that he did all these terrible things to her, I was on her side. I absolutely was when it first came out. But as you start to see this trial now, like, years ago, I was like, oh my God, Johnny Depp did what? That's disgusting. That's so wrong. Because you instantly think in your mind, no person's going to just lie about this. No person's going to blatantly lie. And you know what, Debbie? We are going to do a poll. But Debbie, why don't you type in what you want the poll to be? I'm going to let the fans figure it out. I'm going to let one of my wonderful day one moderators, okay? And there's a lot of day ones here, so just so you know. But she's been with me since day number one, okay? Definitely type down below what you want the poll to be, and I will write it. I will copy and paste it over here, and we will do a poll for the next 14 minutes or so, okay? But in the very beginning, man, yeah, Nur, you were like, Nur was like day 90. You know what I'm saying? But she's still day one to me too. You know what I'm saying? A lot of y'all are all day ones, but she was like day one. Okay. When I had just two people watching the damn show, it was her and my boy James Joseph. Okay. Shout out to James Joseph. He was the first, and then it was Debbie. And then it just kind of, obviously the show grew to now what it is right now. So I appreciate everybody who's watching right now. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And Debbie, definitely think of what you want the poll to be. I'm gonna let the breaks be something where you guys get to write it down. You know what I mean? We're gonna make this a family affair now, okay? But here it is. Somebody already said, hell no. But here's a poll idea: do Amber and Johnny deserve each other? That's hilarious. I'm gonna say hell no. Clearly they don't. But here it is, y'all. In the very beginning, I thought I believed her because I instantly, of course, I think we all innately easily go for the belief, trust and believe the accuser, right, of being said survivor or victim of DV, right, or of the Me Too movement, okay? And then when we got into this trial and as stuff came out, and then you start looking at, and okay, you hear his side of things. You hear Johnny talk. You hear him say his piece, right? Cool. But then she goes up, and what really just knocked me off my feet, in my personal opinion. Oh, that's a good one. I'll do that one, Debbie. That's a good one. Let me do that real quick. But as things, kind of as the trial continued to progress, start to see that, hey, sorry. Okay, so the poll is about to be up on the up above, and it's literally a very, very simple one, but I think it's important because it's nice to see who's watching. Okay, but Team Depp or Team Johnny or Team Amber. So go ahead, vote from the polls posted at the top. Okay, but here it is, y'all. I'm going to repeat this again. I'm sorry for repeating myself, but I have to. But like I said, in the very beginning, I believed her when that op-ed first came out, when the stories started to come out, when the TMZ, People Magazine, all those things started to come out. You start to go, oh my God, this man really did some really terrible things to his wife, his then wife. How terrible. But then when you start hearing more stories and you start hearing the things kind of progress, you hear the infamous finger story. Okay. And then you hear the story of Poopgate. Before the trial, you go, well, then what happened? Who really did what? Right. Then after that, you go into the trial and you're sitting there going, for me, I was like, you heard me talk about it. I was like, I'm still wanting to see what's up. Let me hear this trial. Let me see what's going on. Let me see the reasons why. We heard audio tapes, and we've seen the video of him slamming and breaking cabinet doors. But, for me, I was like, let me just wait. Let me just see what's going on, right? So he goes up, he talks very slowly with everything he says. So that took freaking forever. But once you hear it, you're going, okay, that's one side of the story. And he seems earnest and genuine with his reactions on everything, especially the Poopgate, which was just absolutely hilarious. So you kind of start sliding over to the side. Like I started to move over towards Team Johnny. I was kind of, in the very beginning, I was just kind of stuck in the middle, but I started to lean over there more. The moment that it really got destroyed was right when she got up on the stand. In fact, I was completely swayed when Dr. Hughes took the stand. Her forensic psychologist that she paid to come out and talk. As soon as that woman started squawking, soon as she started making that tongue waggle, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I don't believe one thing that this woman is saying. I don't believe it. I don't. Then Amber came on, and I'm thinking that she's going to use this opportunity to, again, be earnest, be genuine, and be raw with her feelings and what really went down. As she started saying things, I started doing my due diligence. After that day of the trial, the first one, I'm sitting there going, is that really true? Did that really? So I started listening to the old stuff, started listening to the old audio pieces and stuff like that, looking at old documented things, the audio, the videos, all that stuff. And I started to realize, my Lord, this woman really was out here just trying to destroy this man. She was literally on a smear campaign on this man. And it makes me wonder, why? What was inspiring her? What triggered her so much that made her go, oh, damn, I want to destroy this man. F it. I want to destroy this man. I don't care about anything else. We must destroy him at all costs. By any means necessary, we're going to ruin this man. When you're the one who really did physically ruin the man. Still to this day, I'm still trying to figure out what is it that made her go, I'm going to take everything and I'm going to turn everything on his head. I'm going to lie through my teeth. I'm going to say that these things, certain things happen to me. I'm going to talk about a bottle. I'm going to say a dog did it because he had canine IBS. I'm going to make everything up. She goes on to the stand. We have audio. We have all this documentation of all this stuff. She not once said anything verbatim. She did not back up any of her deposition videos, any of the other testimonies she's ever had, the audio tapes or footage that she has, recordings, that she has, that she recorded herself. It's unbelievable. So, of course, Team Depp is having a cakewalk. I said it before. I said they're going to make a meal out of her because of the lies she has displayed on the stand from the day she walked on the first day. Wow. First day she jumps up and she came out the gate lying. Then they're like, oh my God, let me just talk about that. Let's talk about the beginning real quick. Let's talk about the beginning. And day one, she takes the stand. Of course, she's with her team. They're asking her questions. They're being nice to her and all that ish. Okay? They ask about the origin of Amber Heard. She starts talking and she already started lying. Talking about how she was in a really good Catholic school. Well, she was in a good school. Allegedly, she was in a good school. Okay? But she kept on saying like, oh, I did community service and, I learned sign language because of my charity work, so on and so forth. Wow, you really made yourself off like you were a model citizen and a model student, for crying out loud. I said it before and I'll say it again. It was almost like she was up there filling out a college application, trying to say how wonderful and how clean she was, when that's not the case. She had several arrests. She had a rap sheet before she was even 18 years old. That's insane, guys. That's absolutely insane. Thank you, Linda. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Carrie, I agree. I would love to see exes and most definitely the kids, because the kids are going to be able to paint a different dynamic. You know, it just sucks because sometimes kids just don't like the stepmom, just normally, because it's this jealousy thing. And it's like, you're not my real mother, so on and so forth. It could be really tough. Sometimes you get really lucky with having a good bond with the step parent and the step kid, right? Sometimes, but there's a lot of times where there's like, yeah, she cool. Yeah, she all right. She, I tolerate her ass. But if they have an opportunity to call her out, they're going to call her out. Now, I think that the kids would definitely would more than likely be happy to come up on the stand and just expose that ass. Real talk. Because I think she was just a nightmare to live with and be with. But Johnny was, with this young, sprightly Hollywood starlet. He's in his late 50s. Maybe he doesn't think that he can do any better. I don't know. It's weird. Or maybe that's what it was. But here it is. Orange peel, you're right. She did drop out of high school, but she made it seem like she graduated and she did all this. Model student, goody two shoes. But actually, she was a really, really bad girl. Really bad girl. It blows my mind. It makes you wonder what kind of people actually run in Hollywood, who actually run things and make decisions on who is going to be the next big thing, who is going to be we got about a minute and a half left. But, it makes you wonder what type of people, like what type of person you have to be in the Hollywood in crowd. Do you really have to be a bad person to become a Hollywood starlet? Like if my child, I don't have any kids, but if I had a daughter and my daughter said, I want to be a movie star, I'd be terrified. You're telling me that she have to be like a Amber Heard to become a movie star? This is, like I'm saying, usually you're thinking like, oh, he or she, they're a really good guy, a really good person. They deserve all the success that they get. Are they all just bad people? I'm like, damn, y'all, this is insane. We got about 30 more seconds until we get things popping. But it just makes you wonder, man, it's just terrible. It's just absolutely terrible. And she's lying through her teeth. She's lying through her teeth right now. And this is going to continue. And the funny thing is that there's only so much that we can do. Like, we could sit here and we could laugh at this and all this, but at the same time, at the end of the day, this is a very, very sad, sad moment. But I will say this too. This is a masterclass on catching a liar on the stand. Let's check out the rest of this. Hopefully they're going to get started here in a second. They haven't started yet, but they will be getting things on and popping any minute now. Any minute now. We're hearing the audio. We're seeing footage. She is constantly, this is still the same thing, the same story as yesterday. This is like a broken record. They keep asking, the day that you said that you were such and such done was done to you. There was a certain amount of violence that was done to you. All these unthinkable, heinous things happened to you.
Jury?
Where is the footage? They pull up photos. Oh, that was a day or a couple days later or a week later or whatever. Where's the footage? Where's the proof? We show a lot of photos of her looking, flawless, looking Hollywood ready. Looking Hollywood ready. But no footage of actual abuse. This has been a wild ride, y'all. Somebody said it earlier, and I'll say it again for the second time. This is a masterclass on how to catch a liar. That's it. That is it. I'm gonna look up the change.org
All right, thank you.
petition to see if it's
All right.
see
Next
where we're
question.
at with that too. So give me 2 seconds.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, you've testified repeatedly that you were concerned about Mr. Depp's substance use during your relationship, right?
Yes, that's correct.
But you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol yourself, were you?
I did not use drugs when I was with Johnny, like in his presence, aside from the times I testified about with you.
So you weren't concerned enough to stop using drugs and alcohol the times you testified to in front of this jury, right?
As I testified to earlier, I took drugs in Johnny's presence on those 2 occasions early in our relationship in 2013.
Oh, never after that? Lies.
So you never changed your own behavior to support
Right.
Mr. Depp and his sobriety, did you?
I did a lot of changing to support his sobriety. I tried everything that I could possibly think of.
But you drank wine around Mr. Depp on a regular basis, correct?
I did drink wine.
And you took Mr. Depp to Hicksville to do, quote, laughy drugs like mushrooms, end quote, right?
That's correct.
And you testified that despite what supposedly happened in Hicksville, you decided to take MDMA with Mr. Depp on a plane to Russia in June of 2013, correct?
As I mentioned, those are the 2 occasions.
Right.
You testified that this was the last time you would make that mistake, right?
That is correct.
And when asked if you would ask Mr. Depp to get you MDMA in Australia, you said that was, quote, ridiculous, right?
That is correct.
Because you had learned your lesson the hard way on the plane to Russia.
Russia, yes, that's correct.
Yours and Mr. Depp's wedding in the Bahamas was in February of 2015, right?
That is correct.
So that would have been after the Russia flight.
Yes, when I did, when we had mushrooms on the island for my hen party, my wet bridal party before. We were not with Johnny. I was not with Johnny at the time.
Was your wedding with Mr. Depp on the island, right?
To be clear, we were both on the same island. We just weren't around each other that evening. We had kind of separate parties, a bridal party and a groom's party.
And your wedding was a month before Australia, correct?
That is correct.
And you arranged to have drugs at your wedding, correct?
Like I said, we had mushrooms for my bridal party beforehand.
On the island for your wedding?
Before the wedding.
On the island?
On the island, yes.
Okay. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1262? This is an email you sent on February 1st, 2015, correct?
That is correct. Yes, that's correct.
I'm going to move to admit and publish Plaintiff's Exhibit 1262.
Any objection? Yeah, sure.
Mm-mm. Here we go. But
Your Honor, if we could please have Ms. Heard's email published to the jury.
All right, 1262 in evidence.
This is a schedule for your wedding weekend, right, Ms. Heard?
No, it's not. It's a proposed draft of a schedule. It ended up being quite different.
Do you see where it says 7 p.m. rehearsal dinner?
Yes, I see that.
And the next item on the list says, quote, after dance party and drugs and music, end quote, right?
That is correct.
So you plan to have drugs at your wedding to someone you characterize as a drug addict?
To be fair, we were going to have parties, as I mentioned. So a bridal party before this, the schedule ended up changing quite a bit. And this is a draft clearly that was sent before there were a lot of changes made. The bridal
So
party
your original
and the
idea,
groom's
Ms.
party were
Heard,
separate.
Ms. Heard, your original idea was to have a rehearsal dinner with your husband, the drug addict, the monster, and then do drugs with your girlfriends on the island after your rehearsal dinner?
I realize that's what the email suggests, but that wasn't
No,
a
it's
plan.
not what it suggests, Ms. Heard. It's what you said in that email.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is that the schedule ended up changing. We ended up doing the little,
So your
as I
original
called
idea
it,
was
cuddle
to do
puddle
drugs.
before.
Yeah, your original idea was to do drugs on an island after your rehearsal dinner to the drug-fueled monster that you were about to marry, right?
The as the email suggests, there was going to be weed on the island. This does not reference the cuddle puddle that I just referenced to you.
You like to do drugs on special occasions, right, Ms. Heard?
I have before.
And you did drugs again for your 30th birthday, right?
That is correct. That was a huge mistake.
Your 30th birthday dinner was on April 21st, 2016.
Yes, it was the day before my birthday, correct.
And you testified that Mr. Depp was running late to the celebration, correct?
That is correct.
And you asked Mr. Depp to bring you alcohol when he arrived. Is that right?
So the utility closet where we kept the wine was right by the elevators. And I also told him he could bring in a joint. I wouldn't bite his head off if he did.
So that's a yes.
That's correct. I told him I wouldn't be angry.
Let's look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263.
If you want to bring the weed in later, it's okay. It's okay.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask to show, first of all, this one hasn't been produced. This has not, it's a brand new trial exhibit, so I don't have it. I'd like an unredacted copy, and then I'd like an unredacted copy to be shown to the witness.
All right, do you have an unredacted copy?
We can make one, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, may we approach about
All
this?
Oh man. I won't be mad if you bring the weed later. As long as there's a joint, it'll be fine. Just bring it in later. But I don't do drugs because drugs are bad. Right, Amber? That's what Amber's saying. I don't really usually do that, but drugs are bad. I don't partake. She's straight lying. Just more and more lies being exposed, y'all. More and more lies. That's what you get, though. You lie. You lie. You keep lying like this, man. You're just gonna get in more and more trouble. Sandwich, you right. She gonna sit there and say, now, weed ain't drugs. She gonna say that. Yeah, I'm done. I think she's freaking terrified now. I think she's absolutely terrified. I mean, it's just one thing after another of just her being exposed as being a liar. Oh, by the way, quick thing. The change.org petition to get her to remove her from Aquaman 2 right now is at 4.2 million signatures and climbing. It is almost at the 4.5 million signature goal. And it's all because of these testimonies, these days of her on the stand. It has been nothing but exposing her as a full bold-faced liar. And I asked this before, but I'm going to ask this again while we have this little bit of a break. The question is, just because if she really does have histrionic personality disorder or borderline personality disorder, her on the stand saying these things right now, does it still constitute as perjury or no? I know we kind of tapped on it like 2 weeks ago, but I have to circle back and bring that question up again because she may really do believe that this man did these things to her. It's crazy, but he never touched her. Just saying. Do you like drugs? Man, this is crazy. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, she's obviously calculated as hell, Nur. I do agree with that. Not so much, though. If you were calculated, you would have backups and you would have all things showing proof. She's lazy. She's a lazy liar.
I'm going to show the unredacted messages to counsel for Ms. Heard on a laptop because I don't have a hard copy.
Okay.
Yeah, could we, let's just pause for a minute. I don't know.
What's that?
Damn, again? Man, come on, man. Let's go. Let's keep going with the public quartering here, man. I'm with it. All the live long day. But anyway, and it also makes you wonder, did they fill up her side of the courtroom because those are people who actually support Amber, or they had no other place to go, so they're just sitting there? You see what I'm saying? It just makes you wonder, But yeah, y'all, this is yes, she's a lazy liar. She's lazy. She's like very inventive, very creative, but she's lazy with her lies because she has nothing to back it up. Okay, let's continue, please.
So Ms. Heard, I'm only going
Well,
to.
Your Honor, I'm going to
Dang.
ask some questions while I'm looking at this.
All right, if you could give her a moment, please.
Sure.
Thank you.
A moment of silence. Poor Boo. That's what I'm going to say. Poor Boo. My heart still goes out to Boo. Are you good now? Elaine, are we good? I thought it was Grace. I honestly thought it was like that. You go on one side to be on like to support the team. You know what I mean? To support your friend, and then you go on. You go on either side to show support. So I was wrong. You see, I'm not a lawyer. Shoot, you know what I mean? So it's just they sit anywhere. That's fascinating. That is fascinating.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Okay, are we good? Can we continue now?
Okay.
All right, then. Let's go.
So any objection 1263 as redacted?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 1263 in evidence.
So-
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Heard, directing your attention to the Plaintiff's Exhibit 1263. This is a text message that you sent to Mr. Depp, correct?
That is correct.
And you sent this message to Mr. Depp the day you had your 30th birthday dinner, right?
That is correct.
And you write, quote, "Hey, baby, bring up something to drink and or a joint. I'm in if you are. See you in a minute, ? XX. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And then the next day you went to Coachella and consumed MDMA and mushrooms, right, Ms. Heard?
I did. Johnny was not there for that.
Let's talk a little bit more about your 30th birthday. You testified about this incident multiple times, haven't you?
That is correct.
But yesterday, you told this jury that you were not called upon to provide a detailed accounting of all physical and sexual abuse by Mr. Depp until February 2020. Is that correct?
I testified that I had not been able to do so until February 2020 in outside of the context of a cold deposition.
Actually, I misspoke. February 2022, this year.
Right. Sorry, I did the same thing you did.
Okay. And you did that in something called an interrogatory. Is that correct?
The interrogatory response was the first time that I could do that outside of the context of being asked certain questions in the deposition.
And you testified about your 30th birthday in this interrogatory, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Nonetheless, you testified to a new detail about your 30th birthday for the first time in this courtroom, didn't you?
No, that's incorrect.
A sexual assault, no less.
I had just not placed when that happened. I was never sure if that was the same time that he did that on the night of my birthday. And I maintained that as well in my deposition.
You told this jury that the evening of your 30th birthday dinner, Mr. Depp, quote, grabbed you by the pubic area, end quote, pushed you down, right?
That is correct.
This detail isn't in your interrogatory response, is it, Ms. Heard?
That detail is in my interrogatory response, yes.
Let's pull up your interrogatory response. If we could please bring up Ms. Redahoff. Thank you. May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
If we can go to your interrogatory responses at page 57. These are signed under the penalty of perjury, correct?
That is correct.
And you testified again to this jury that this was the first time you were given an opportunity to write down everything and include all your evidence, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So let's go to page 57. At the top of page 57, Johnny and I were not in a good place. I begged him to make my birthday dinner. Do you see that?
That is correct.
Okay, so starting on page 57, you start describing your birthday dinner, correct?
That is correct.
All right. On page 59 of your interrogatory response, you write, fourth paragraph down, Johnny grabbed me while holding me down, and I remember him asking me if I thought I was so tough. He asked me 3-4 times up close to my face, "You're so tough. Are you such a tough guy, huh? You think you're so tough. What are you going to do now?" I stood up at some point after getting off the ground. Do you see that?
That is correct.
And then you write after, "I remember crying. I remember feeling exhausted and frustrated. And it hit me, meaning the realization of how sad it was that I was going to wake up tomorrow on my birthday without him."
That's correct.
Where in this interrogatory response, Ms. Heard, you describe Mr. Depp, quote, grabbing you by the pubic area and pushing you down?
On page 64.
Where?
Page 64, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs down. Johnny grabbed me once, did this taunting thing on the side of the bed in Penthouse 3. He grabbed my vagina and held me there, asked me if I was so tough.
You're not describing what happened after your 30th birthday?
I am. I just had not prescribed it to that date with the limited evidence I had at the time. Only in the course of looking at the evidence, preparing for this case, have I put those two pieces together. But I've always said what happened.
You were upset that Mr. Depp was late to your 30th birthday, weren't you?
I was.
Very.
You knew Mr. Depp had a scheduled business meeting or a money meeting that evening, right?
No, I knew he said he did. I didn't know if he had one. Addicts lie all the time.
So you didn't trust him?
Wow.
I took it with a big grain of addict salt.
Wow.
And Mr. Depp texted you that evening to let you know he'd be late, correct?
Yes, he did text me at some point.
It was a big deal to you that Mr. Depp was late to your birthday dinner, wasn't it?
Yeah, it did matter to me.
And you were upset he was late.
I was hurt.
And when he finally did arrive, you felt, quote, invisible to him, right?
I did.
The day after your birthday dinner, you and your friends went to Coachella to celebrate your birthday. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You made a video driving to Coachella with your friends, didn't you?
That is correct.
I'd like to pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 1264. And for the record, Your Honor, this only has music without any words on it.
And again, it's a new one, so I'd like a copy of it.
It's going to be played. There is no sound other than a song.
Yes, sure.
She just said, I took it with a grain of addict salt. What? She is she's trying to say everything she can. Wow. Like I said, she's gonna grasp it as many straws as she can. She's gonna try to take everybody down as she starts to sink. She's gonna go, F it. This is an opportunity for me to sit here and throw shade on Johnny. So I'm just gonna say it now. Let's not forget he's an addict. That's absolutely true, Lady Justice. LJ, that's freaking true. And if there's music that's playing on here, I'm going to have to, they said music, but no words. I don't know what that means. But if it's like some song, I'm going to have to mute it, unfortunately, because.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right,
Okay.
1264.
If we could please publish this to the jury
Evidence. Yes, ma'am.
with a sound.
Okay, I got to kill that. Sorry. Okay. It's just them in the car having a great time. No words, just her kicking it in her Mustang that
This is a
she
video you
built
made
for
when
her.
you drove to Coachella with your friends for your 30th birthday, right?
That's correct. I'm not quite sure which one of us made the video, but that's correct.
You're featured in that video driving.
That's
Damn
correct.
right.
And it's set to the song Miss You by the Rolling Stones. Is that right?
That's correct.
That was a message for Mr. Depp, wasn't it?
Nice looking Mustang,
No,
though.
that's ridiculous.
You consumed drugs at Coachella, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You took MDMA and mushrooms at the same time.
I did.
At the
Yes.
same
And it made
damn
you
time.
feel sick, right?
I felt horrible. Yes.
So you left Coachella.
Yes, that's correct.
You testified yesterday that when you left Coachella, you left with, quote, your entire group.
That is correct.
And
Thank
you
you,
were, quote,
CLH.
never alone with Starling, right?
That is correct.
You weren't anywhere near him.
Not alone, no.
You sat here when Starling Jenkins testified that he collected you from Coachella when you were sick, right?
He picked up my entire group.
And Mr. Jenkins testified, quote, I collected her, got her in the vehicle. She didn't want anyone else to know that she was sick. Take her back to the Parker, which I assume was in reference to the hotel, alone. I took her to 7-Eleven where I retrieved hydrating fluids, Advil, and let her have those. Got her back up to the Parker, got her in the suite, and then went back to pick up everyone else. You were there when Mr. Jenkins testified, right?
Yes, he was wrong.
So it's your testimony that Mr. Jenkins is lying.
He's just wrong. I don't know what his intentions are. He was just wrong about that. We were a big group of us. I wasn't alone with him.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it possible that you don't remember correctly because you were sick from taking MDMA and mushrooms?
You
at
were
the same time?
I remember everything about that night.
Okay.
I'd like to play for you Plaintiff's Exhibit
Drugs.
1229, which is already in evidence, at 1720 through 2128.
She a damn pro. So everyone else is lying except her.
We should do this. You're 100%. That we should. Question.
Doesn't mean we can't see each other.
Okay.
I mean,
So then why did you
if
say
you don't-
stop the
if you
proceeding?
don't surrender,
No, yeah. Let people see
you have
you.
a temporary restraint.
You're right. You want a divorce.
Nobody's telling me.
Forget it. No, you told me.
We're on the road.
You told me where you are. You want a divorce. And that's what I came to figure
You're
out.
not going to call your lawyers and say, stop the process. I don't want to divorce. You're not going to do that.
You know, not if, especially if you don't. If you,
Okay, I don't want to divorce.
you don't? How which one? Growing up, which one?
I don't want a divorce. I never wanted a fucking divorce. I never wanted a divorce. I didn't want you to fucking go to Coachella without fucking talking to me because I left you because you were fucking. You fucking haymakered me, man. You came around the bed to fucking start punching on me. Why? I love you.
Man, hearing these
That's what really
recordings
happened the evening of your 30th birthday, isn't it, Miss Heard?
can be heartbreaking.
No,
Miss-
that's incorrect.
Mr. Depp was in bed, and then you came around the bed and started punching him.
That's incorrect.
You don't deny that in the recording, do you, Miss Heard?
I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I'm not denying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm not having that conversation with Johnny. I was trying to get out of that hotel room. That was a mediation attempt. That was the recording you just heard. It was us meeting in a hotel.
But you're talking about your 30th birthday.
No, we're not.
You're not talking about going to Coachella and
That's what
Johnny's
it
talking
said.
about that. I am not arguing with him
Oh
about
my
any of that.
God.
Right.
Oh my
you don't
God.
deny anything, do you?
I'm not talking to him about that.
Oh my God.
Going to
Oh my
publish
God.
exhibit or ask that the witness be shown exhibit 1265.
Oh, this is so terrible. Oh, why, man? Man, why? Man, why? Why are we wasting our time, man? This is bad.
This is you and your friends at Coachella, correct?
That is correct.
I'm going to move to admit plaintiff's 1265 and publish it.
No objection.
All right, 1265 in evidence, can publish it.
There's no injuries to you, are there, Miss Heard, visible in this picture?
You cannot see any visible injury, no.
Let's see the photo, man. Show us the photo, baby.
Thank you, Tom.
This is so bad.
Ms. Heard, you remember during Mr. Depp's examination, a number of recordings were played, correct?
Oh my God.
That's correct.
And in one of those recordings, you told Mr. Depp, quote, I hope to God Jack's stepfather teaches him more about being a man than your fucking left nut. End
Wow.
quote. Do you remember that?
I do not remember what exactly I could hear of that recording. I remember I heard myself make a mention of Jack's new stepfather or potential stepfather. I can't recall.
Jack is Mr. Depp's son, right?
That is correct. And I believe I was referencing a marriage that his ex-partner was going to have or getting into, I suppose.
She's evil.
You were referencing that Jack's new stepfather would teach him how to be a man because Mr. Depp couldn't.
I
right?
don't recall exactly what I said, but it was something to that effect.
Oh,
Let's
Camille,
listen
you
to
won.
some of what happened before you said that to
Camille, you
Mr.
won.
Depp. If we could please play Plaintiff's Exhibit 397, which is already in evidence. And for the record, it's at 3504 through 3547. And then the next clip is 3635 through 4308.
Camille, you won. We get it. We get it, Camille. We get it, girl. You win. Oh my God.
Everything's fine until it doesn't go your way. And when it doesn't go your way, I'm in trouble. And you know what? I don't need you. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman. I don't want your kind of woman.
Wow.
I might have. So my dick with you.
Mistake. I wish I had fucking had it.
Oh, yeah.
I wish I fucking hadn't. I wish I fucking hadn't bought into any of your fucking lies, your bullshit, your sober fucking presence, your fucking goodness, your sweetness, all the lies. I wish I hadn't bought into the months of you being you. I wish I hadn't bought into the promises. I wish I hadn't fucking thought I could have kids with you. You're a fucking kid yourself. I wish I hadn't bought into any of the lies you sold. Talk about fake bill of goods. You're the biggest fucking, you're the biggest fucking seller of fake fucking bill of goods. Talk about presenting yourself as
I
something.
did myself as a fake.
Suck my dick.
Goods.
Suck my
I
dick.
fucking you left nothing and I've left
Suck my
everything. So suck your dick.
Yeah, go on.
Which is probably your next move to be what you fucking move. No, I don't want to suck your dick. I don't want nothing to do with your
Oh,
fucking
but I
midsection.
need something.
Well, go get it, man.
Because I need something. Oh,
Damn.
fucking fuck yourself.
I
No shit, I can't. Suck your dick.
don't want to.
It's gonna be all you have.
No, that's not really true, Amber.
Actually, it kind of is.
It kind of is. What are you talking about? You doing some
Not much.
Is it me or did
Oh, is it? What is it?
No,
Is-
I'm sure Rochelle's available.
I-
Call her up. I'm sure she's available.
Maybe she is.
I'm sure she is.
Was he?
I'm sure she is.
I'll let you know.
Oh, I'm sure she is. I'm sure for her yoga blog.
That fake laugh. That fake laugh is too much to take.
No, I'm sure she's.
That fake laugh is so disgusting.
I'm sure she's great. I'm sure she's great.
I'm thinking that you can give me some
No.
of the best performances. in the
No,
world.
no, you're right. I don't. It's all about performance.
Fuck, performances. I don't regret. I don't regret.
What else?
I
What
don't.
else that you do? Oh, come on.
I don't
Be
regret.
weird.
I
Come
don't
on. Lay
regret.
it on me. What else? What else other things do you want to add?
Can't talk to
You
you
fucking
sound
lie piece. What you want? Oh, no, I want to know.
Oh my God.
Get out your Uber's
I'm
out.
kind of waiting. You go get it.
Yeah, I'll be on the
Wait, is there no other place for you to run your 15 other houses to go run? Come on, go be a real married man and go deal with your shit the way that a man does. Go run to the next house.
We said,
Every man does.
Yeah.
Go. Run away. I know it's hard to
Your
look at yourself.
fucking ridiculous
I know.
plan.
It's
Your
hard.
panic fucking
It's
plan.
hard. It's hard.
Screwing everybody else
Poor
over
thing.
to get
You're
your
right. I
fucking.
tried.
get
That's
what
what I do.
You're the most spoiled fucking brat. And you got everybody out here almost full, but it
you're
don't
right.
last
You're
long.
right.
I've
I'm
been here a
sorry.
lot longer
You're
than
right. You got to
That's-
figure it out.
You don't have. Figure out what you have to offer as opposed to going out and get your tits out.
You're right. That's what I do.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Lemon field is
You're right. You're right.
excellent choice.
Back to that. Well, I wonder what we else. I wonder what else we can reach for in the last 60 minutes. Oh no, it was 4 years ago. You're right. I'm sure there's other things you can.
So loud.
No, I'm not laughing.
Or, no, matter of fact,
I'm not laughing. I'm not. It's
Facts.
serious. I'm sure you can find other things.
I know. And stripping. Well, there's always that. You can
You're
always
right.
go back
You can
to
write
that
a book.
for
You can
another-
write a
for
book.
another
I know
10
you can write a book. Oh, is this gonna be good for your book? Oh, should I have you sign an NDA for your book?
You don't need
Your book.
No,
Is this
no.
gonna be good for your book?
You won't even
Is
make
this
it
gonna be
in
good for your book? Hey,
I'll write what I want. I'll
I
write
have a
what
good
I want.
idea.
I'll write what
How
I
about you
want.
sell more of your journals? You don't want to sell out or anything. Let's sell you journals. Oh, wait.
Hey.
Hey, you know, no,
Yeah,
you're not
you don't
what?
wanna sell out.
No, you're not
You
selling
don't want
out.
to sell out, Magic Mike. You
No,
don't wanna
yeah,
sell
'cause
out.
no one does
No.
21 Jump Street when they're in their 20s. No, you're right. That's not selling out. No.
Wow.
When you're in your 20s, you should really know what you want. Like
I don't-
selling your journals.
I know it. If you didn't know who the fuck I
You're
was.
right. Go sell your journals to a real non-seller. 5-year-old. Or, I'm sorry,
6.
51. I don't know. It doesn't matter at this point.
Wow.
I
This
don't
is
think so. I don't really think so. But you're right. I mean, hey, at least I didn't do like a TV show where I was heartbroken in my 20s. God, that would be like embarrassing. If only I was with someone in their 50s that could point that out to me. Imagine mine.
wow.
You play a non-sexualized object. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. You're right. You got me. You got it all figured out.
You don't even know what movies I've done.
If only I could
You haven't
be
even
like,
taken an interest.
if only I could be
You know,
like
but I had to
you. If
watch
only
your
I
fucking-
could be like
I had to watch your fucking direct and you trying to like
You're a joke.
spew out
You're a
fucking
joke.
lines.
You're a joke. You're a joke.
Yeah, I'm the joke in the industry, Amber. I'm the joke. I'm the joke in the
I'm
industry.
sorry. I can't really hear you. I'm sorry. The reruns of all my bullshit are playing too loud for me to hear you. I'm gonna just go and pedal my way back. Sorry. I can't hear you.
Aquaman.
Oh, 21,
Sorry, that was
whatever
funny.
it was.
I
I don't
was
remember it anymore.
I was
No one
20.
cares. You're fucking fucking.
Washed up piece of
Oh,
shit.
what? What?
Washed up piece of shit.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Oh, what? I can't hear you.
Your jealousy's so tragic.
I'm sorry.
Your jealousy's so tragic. Fucking like
I can't hear
thinking
you.
that I'm going on a road with a
Turn
band.
on my aid. I can't hear you.
Wow, guys.
You told
That
Mr. Depp
That was
to
heartbreaking.
suck your dick multiple times, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
You tell him to go run to his 15 other houses, right?
That's correct.
Because that's what he would do when you behave like this, isn't it?
Eventually, he would go and stay in one of the other houses.
Wow.
You call him a sellout, don't you?
That was
I was
heartbreaking.
expressing frustration about his criticism of my career and how many problems that caused within the dynamic of our relationship. Yes,
So you call him a sellout and a joke?
I called him horrible, ugly things, as you can hear.
Oh, really?
Sellout.
We spoke to each other in a really horrible way.
Really now?
Pretty sure we just heard you speak to him in a really horrible way. You called him a sellout,
I just
right, Miss
disagree.
Heard?
Oh,
You called him a sellout, right, Miss Heard?
I called him a lot of ugly things.
And a joke.
I called him a lot of ugly things.
You called him a joke on that recording.
Come on, Camille.
You called him a washed up piece of shit.
I think we both called each other that on that occasion. Yes.
Mr. Depp mentions Aquaman, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
Excuse me?
Mr. Depp got you that role in Aquaman, didn't he?
No, Miss Vasquez, I got myself that role by auditioning. That's how
Mr.
that
Depp
works.
says, quote, your jealousy is so tragic.
I heard him say that, yes.
You were the jealous one in this relationship, weren't you, Miss Heard?
I think he was indicating I was jealous of his career.
But now you've twisted it to say it was Mr. Depp. That's the jealous one.
Johnny's always been very jealous when I worked, when I did anything, friends. Yes, he's always been very jealous.
Ms. Hurd, I'm going to ask you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 120E.
Yeah, the petition's at 4.2 million right now.
This is a series of text messages
bumped up a
between
million
you
by
and
now.
Mr. Depp.
Damn.
That is correct.
Damning audio. Oh my God.
I'm going
Heartbreaking
to move to
too.
admit and publish these text messages. Mr. Depp's messages have been redacted.
All right, any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120E in evidence, you can publish.
Her team.
Starts with a text message from you to Mr. Depp on September 26, 2015, right?
That is correct.
You write, "Monster is back. This is him." Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And then in the next message, you write, quote, "Ran away, first sign of trouble. This is not the man you promised you would be." Did I read that correctly?
That is correct.
Then in the next one down, you write, "Promised, swore to me you would be."
That is
Right.
correct. The non-monster.
Ms. Hurd, you're talking about Mr. Depp running away from you at the first sign of trouble, aren't you?
No, I'm recognizing the clues at this point when he would run away at the first sign of trouble. Often that was a clue for me to know that he was back using again and that we were about to enter the next phase of the cycle.
And you describe his running away from you as the monster, right?
That wasn't what was a monster. The monster is the man who beat me up. The running away was just attached to that. It was a sign, a signal to me as a clue, as somebody trying to put together clues that we were entering into that phase.
In these messages, Ms. Hurd, the
Exactly.
monster isn't Mr. Depp doing drugs, is it?
It was always the man who did drugs and beat me up. Yes, that's always been the monster.
That's not what you're saying in these messages.
That is exactly what I'm saying in the messages.
You don't describe Mr. Depp being violent, do you?
I do not describe that in this text message, no.
So it's a cowardly monster this time.
No,
And going down the page, you write a long series of text messages to Mr. Depp that don't get a response. Is that correct?
that is correct.
You write, "Come grown, face the shit, and we can do anything." You go on a little later to say, "Please come home. Let's apologize to each together." And continuing on page 77, you write, "Not go to bed mad." And then you say, "Sound okay? Sound like the priority in the long run? Come home. Don't be the monster. Be the man. Please. Please call me. Please." Continuing on page 78. You write, "I don't want the monster. I need my man. I need to talk to you. Please, Johnny. Don't force me to be something else to you. This is taking me for granted and I can never stop before this turns into something far darker." Describing yourself in that text message, right?
The exact opposite. I'm trying to interrupt him starting a new cycle where he starts using again. I'm
He's not
trying
responding to
desperately
you, Ms. Hurd.
Yeah, that's why I'm trying to desperately stop him.
"Please answer the phone," you say. "Doesn't this mean anything to you?" And it goes on. And I won't read all these messages, but you're saying, "Please answer," over and over again, right?
It was very important to me. I was running out of time and I was trying desperately to stop him.
He wasn't with you, Ms. Hurd.
Exactly, which is how I knew it was about to get a lot worse. He would leave, use, and come back way worse, with way less reality, with more delusions. He'd be more drunk. He'd be
I'm going to
more
move
under
to
the
strike everything
influence.
after
I was trying to
the
stop that.
answer to her question.
Your Honor, she was responding.
I'll overrule the objection, that's fine.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Okay.
This is a situation where you were trying to get Mr. Depp to pay attention to you. Isn't that right?
No, I was trying to stop him from using.
And because he ran away from you at the first sign of trouble, you call him a monster,
I was
right?
trying to stop him from turning into the monster. The drugs are the key that opened the
Who
door.
was the real monster in this relationship, Ms. Hurd?
Lives in Johnny, half of Johnny. It's not all of Johnny. The other half of him is wonderful and beautiful and the man I love.
I'd like you to take a look at Plaintiff's Exhibit 120F.
Man.
There's another set of text messages between you and Mr. Depp. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And then move to admit and publish.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, 120F in evidence. You can publish.
This is a set of text messages, and it's from October 2015. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
In fact, you sent all of these messages to Mr. Depp on October 22nd, 2015. Isn't that right? And again, I'm not going to read them all, but you start off again by trying to get Mr. Depp's attention, right? You write, please come home.
I was trying to stop another bender.
You write, please come home, right?
That is correct.
Please answer. Don't break us up. Please answer. Please. And continuing on page 97, you write, give me some piece of your heart. Please, no fight, I promise. Please, no fights. Please just pick up. Please give me 2 minutes. I'm dying. Please. And continuing on page 98, you write, please come home. Please come home, Baba. I am so sorry. Actually, you didn't say Baba, you said baby. Apologies. And it goes on. Did I read those correctly?
That is correct. That was another time I'm trying to stop another twist off.
This is what would happen when Mr. Depp would try to take some space from you, right?
No, this is what would happen when Johnny had moved into the next phase of the cycle, decided to use,
No,
and
I've
our
misheard.
lives were getting
Phase
a
of the
lot
cycle?
worse.
Ms. Heard, I'm talking about your actions. This is what you would do to Mr. Depp when he would leave you. You would harangue him.
I would
Isn't
try
that
to.
correct? You
I
would
would try-
harangue him.
Your Honor, at least let her answer the question. She interrupted you.
That's fine. Go ahead and answer the question.
I do not think I would characterize my behavior that way. I was trying to stop him from using.
You were texting him incessantly. Isn't that correct, Ms. Heard?
It was imperative for my life.
Ms.
It was
Heard,
very
My
important.
question is
to me.
much more simple.
He was
You were
away from you.
texting him incessantly.
I would
Yes
try
or no?
everything to
Ms.
get a hold
Heard?
of him and
So
to
that's a
stop the
yes.
cycle.
That's a yes, right?
I would try everything to stop the cycle. It was that important to me.
I'll take
And
that
he's
as
the
a yes.
monster for not responding to you,
That's not what made him the monster.
for
No.
needing space from you.
That's what
The
makes him the
monster was
monster.
not the guy who needed space. The
Not
monster
for
was
doing
who he
drugs.
was when he came back.
Not for doing drugs, Ms. Heard.
For
Not for
ignoring
being
you.
violent. Just for needing space. That's when you called Mr. Depp the monster.
Incorrect.
Let's listen to Defendant's Exhibit 598C, which is already in evidence.
Facts, Aaron. Where Dr. Phil at? Now, what?
And let's not do this anymore because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
Stop, I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me go and you go and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you're being
I
so-
go?
Please, it causes me so much stress when you leave, when you walk away from me with that. It's like you don't understand how much worse you're making this.
I can't believe this.
Please, you're making it worse for me.
Okay, I'm sorry for you.
Please, I'm only trying to tell you so that you know you're causing me immense stress right now when you walk away like that. There's no reason to be mad.
Well, then say goodbye. I haven't walked away. You're not saying goodbye. You won't let me fucking leave. Let me leave.
Stop rushing me! Stop pushing me in the corner and then poking me with a stick and then saying, why are you saying the words you want me to say? Stop poking me! Stop rushing me! Stop throwing me against the wall and going, what? You don't like that wall? You don't like the fucking wall? Stop pushing me!
Remember? I'm not pushing you. I'm rushing you. I said, I need space. I don't want this conversation anymore right now. I need space. And I will take my space. Whether you like it or not, I will take it. And you will take your space. But if you keep halting
I'm not doing anything
this
to you.
and continuing
I'm
with
not
the rhetoric,
continuing it. I'm begging you to stop.
I don't. Okay, stop.
I'm just
I'm stopped. Stop. Now I have to go. Okay? So we will speak to each other in a couple.
Wow. I don't understand why it went out again. Come on back.
We'll just see when I get home. We'll just talk, or we won't talk, or we'll finish this, or we won't finish it.
Definitely sounds rational.
But this is not, bro. This is not happiness. This is not.
Please stop doing this. Please, you're causing me so much fucking stress. I'm gonna die at this age. I'm gonna fucking die. You're causing me so much stress. Please stop. Please, I feel like I have a heart attack almost every day. Please stop. Please stop doing it. Please stop. He's so fucking mean.
Why are you
You're a
with
fucking
me?
bully. Stop. Please stop. I've been begging you not to fight. I just said, can we please have a normal argument? Just even a normal conversation, fucking normal argument. And for the last hour, I've been begging you to please just leave it at that. Let's just go on with our night. I would have been able to come in with you. We would have been able to let it go in a few minutes. It would have been fine. If we allowed ourselves to have fucking normal arguments. Please, you're killing me with this. You're killing me. You're fucking killing me. Fuck.
Sean, could you, please, I want you to just go. I want you to take your medicine or whatever. I'm sorry that I've upset you.
Yeah,
this much.
Take your medicine.
Thank you, Sean. I'm ready to go. Thank you so much.
I'm really sorry.
I'm really ready.
It's you and Mr. Depp in the recording, correct, Mr. Depp?
Heartbreaking.
That's correct.
You
And
just
crazy.
won't let him go, will you?
That's not true. We were outside of his studio and he wanted to go and use. It was a pretext.
What?
The claim that he was upset with me was a pretext so that he would go on a bender. I
What?
knew that pattern by the time this recording happened.
Oh my God. What?
Is your testimony now that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio
I believe that
and he
that
was going to go
recording was.
use?
Excuse me?
He was going to go use drugs? That's your testimony now?
Wow.
We were outside his studio, his man cave house, if you will, in the car, I believe, during that recording.
And he was going to go inside and use.
That was the pattern. And as you can hear from my voice, I'm very, very, very scared of entering into the next cycle under
Oh my God.
under what I had been conditioned to understand we were at that point in our
Oh my
relationship.
That's not true, is it, Miss Heard?
The
Mr.
queen
Depp
of
was trying to go
spin.
inside his house to see his daughter, Lily Rose.
She might have been over that day, but
So
that's
it's
not
your
what he was
testimony
getting out of
now?
the car to do, and that's not what I was stopping him from doing.
Let's play the beginning part of that recording where Mr. Depp tells you that he wants to go inside
Come
to
on,
see his daughter.
Camille. Let's go. I'm with this. Wow.
And let's not do this anymore because I'm really getting frustrated. And I'm really, really, really sick of this argument.
I'm sorry.
Okay? So let me go and you go and I'll speak to you in a couple hours. Okay? Okay?
Stop. Okay.
Why are you saying stop?
Because
May
you're being
I
so-
go?
We'll circle back to this, but it's your testimony that you were outside Mr. Depp's studio.
We were in the car.
You were in the car outside of Mr. Depp's studio,
That's correct.
and he wasn't telling you, please let me go inside my house to see my daughter. He was indicating to you that he wanted to go inside to do drugs. That's your testimony.
I know my testimony is that I knew what he was going inside to go do. I knew what stage of the cycle we were in. I knew the patterns
Cycle.
by then, and I was desperately out of time trying to interrupt that cycle.
Yikes.
Let's go to May of 2016.
Hit that like button, guys, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
Yesterday, Ms. Heard, Ms. Bredehoff, your attorney, showed you certain pictures from May 21, 2016. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 710, which has already been admitted into evidence. Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph taken of you on May 21st, 2016. Do you recall?
Yes, that's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, if we could please do a split screen, Tom, and also pull up Defendant's Exhibit 714, which has already been admitted with redactions.
Here we go.
Ms. Heard, you testified yesterday that this is a photograph that was also taken on May 21st, 2016, correct?
Yes, although the one to the right might have been taken the next day. I can't be sure. The reason I say that is because there's light in the background. So It looks like it was taken in the daytime, which means maybe it was the next day.
Didn't you testify that you took different pictures in different lightings on May 21?
That is correct, yes.
And you're wearing two thin necklaces in this picture on the right. Is that correct?
That is correct.
You testified that these pictures were taken the same night.
The one on the right looks like it was taken in the daytime because I can see the daylight behind me.
But you testified that they were taken the same day.
I don't know if I think I testified that they came from the same incident of the same day, not necessarily taken on the same day.
Okay. Let's please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 712, which has already been admitted. You testified yesterday. This is another photograph of you on the night of May 21.
That's correct.
And keeping this exhibit up, can we please do a split screen and also pull up Defendant 713, which has already been admitted? Ms. Hurd, you testified yesterday. This is also a photograph of you from the same night, correct?
She lied again.
That is correct.
You testified yesterday that the only difference between these two photographs is that the light was turned on.
Jeez.
That's what it appears to be, yes.
Yes.
The light is on both of these pictures, though. Isn't that right?
It looks to me like the one on the left has the vanity light, the makeup lights, you know, the more yellow hued ones that go around the mirror on. And then the one on the right looks like it doesn't have those.
Isn't it true you just edited these photographs?
No, I've never edited a photograph.
Didn't you just enhance the saturation for one of these photos to make your face look more red?
No, that's incorrect. I didn't touch it.
What?
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Mr. Isaac Baruch testified to seeing you the week after May 21, 2016, correct?
I was here.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you on May 22nd while you were changing the locks of your penthouse. Do you recall that testimony?
I do. I just don't know if he was right about the date, but I do remember him saying that.
Testified it was his birthday, the day after his birthday.
I believe it was.
Morning, Kelly.
Mr. Baruch testified that he saw you repeatedly in the days following also, correct?
That's correct.
And Mr. Baruch testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face, correct?
That is what he's testified to.
You were also here in this court when Mr. Sean Bett testified to seeing you on the evening of May 21, 2016. Is that right? You were here.
That's correct.
Mr. Bett also testified that he saw no marks or injuries on your face that evening, correct?
I realize that's what he said.
You were sitting here in this courtroom when Officer Melissa Sines testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21st, 2016, right?
I saw her testimony, yes.
And you heard Officer Sines testify that she did not see any injuries on you that night, correct?
I heard her testify she did not consider this injured.
No. Miss Officer Sines testified that she met with you and she did not see any injuries on your face. Isn't that correct?
She did not consider this injury.
Ms. Hurd, my question is a bit more nuanced.
So is my answer.
All right.
Yo, she cannot sit here and go, oh no, it's a different photo. It's a different lighting. This is just the mirror on. The vanity lights are on. And then this one is just without the vanity lights on. Just no, it's not working for me, dog. It's a no for me, dog. I'm sorry, but her testifying is not working for me today. It wasn't working for me at all this entire time, but this is ridiculous. I mean, you can't put that stuff out here and not expect Team Depp to pull this stuff up and go, why are these the same photos, but they're colored differently? Why would you pull these things up to make it seem like, oh, I was hurt, but hey, let me use this and let me Photoshop this a little bit, tweak it a little bit, so on and so forth, so it looks like I've been hurt. That's really bad. And the fact that this woman is not taking any accountability for anything, still, she's not taking any accountability for anything. She's been lying. She's admitting to these lies, one after another now, aside from not this photo. She's literally trying to throw a Hail Mary by saying, no, I didn't pull up the saturation on these photos. That's a lie. Same damn photo, y'all. It's the same damn photo. Same damn photo.
Tom, can we put these down, please? I think they might be confusing the witness. My question is more nuanced. You sat in this courtroom while Officer Sines testified that she saw you the night of May 21, 2016, face to face, and didn't see any injuries on your face.
Thank you,
Isn't that
Bagwell.
correct, Ms. Heard?
I believe she was testifying about these photographs, and she said that I was not injured in them.
Is it your testimony under oath now that Officer Sines testified that she saw injuries on you when she saw you in person on May 21?
Sorry, let me clarify. I was testifying that I know that that's what Officer Sines said, that she didn't consider my red puffy face injured. That's what she said.
The red puffy face, that was your counsel's question, correct?
That was
She
her
said-
testimony in the UK.
That's incorrect, and you know that, Ms. Heard.
I disagree.
It's just inconvenient for you that Officer Sines didn't see injuries on you on May 21, 2016.
It
Isn't
doesn't
that right?
matter what's convenient for me.
Right. Officer Tyler Haddon also testified by deposition about being called to the Eastern Columbia building on May 21, 2016. And he also testified no injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that correct?
They both said that they did not consider me injured.
They did not see injuries on your face on May 21, 2016. Isn't that what their testimony was?
What their testimony was is that they did not consider what my face looked like to be injury. They didn't consider what they walked on in the house damage, but it was.
You were sitting here when Officer William Gatlin testified by deposition about being called on May 21 to the Eastern Columbia building, and he also did not observe any injuries on you, did he? And that's what he testified to.
He didn't even know which one I was.
No, I think we all saw on video camera you identify yourself. Isn't that correct?
I had to because of how far away he was. He didn't even know who he was.
But
there
after
to
you
see.
identified yourself, he looked at you. Isn't that correct?
From a distance, yes.
And he didn't see any visible injuries either, did he?
I don't know what he saw.
He testified that he didn't see any visible injuries, did
I
he?
would believe that he didn't. Yes.
You were also in this courtroom when Alejandro Romero, who worked at the front desk at the Eastern Columbia building, testified about seeing you on May 25th, 2016. Isn't that correct?
Alejandro.
That is correct. I think he said the 25th.
Yeah. And Mr. Romero testified that he didn't see any swelling or bruises on your face when you were talking to him at the front desk.
He wouldn't have.
No, he wouldn't have, even though he had a habit, because his parents taught him correctly, to look into someone's eyes when speaking to them. Isn't that correct?
I know that's what he testified to. Yes.
And vape and drive while doing the testimony, but that's another
You
story.
testified yesterday that you sought a temporary restraining order on May 27th, 2016, because you wanted to change your locks. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Those locks were to the penthouses at the Eastern Columbia building. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
You changed the locks to the penthouses on May 22nd, 2016.
I attempted to.
That's why you felt comfortable having James Franco over the evening of May 22nd, 2016, Ms. Heard?
Oh,
I do not know when.
Elon. Or no,
I do
James.
not know when James came over.
Okay, let's remind you. Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 304, which is already in evidence, and play from 254 through 439?
Rocco. Oh, James Franco. The Franco. Also has been canceled for the Me Too movement, but that's because he was a straight up freak and creepazoid. How fitting. Oh my Lord. Oh my God. Had no problem bringing some new dude over. Some new D or old D. You never know. I think this woman was diabolical. I'm just exactly. La Fuente. Yes, de La Fuente. Absolutely. She's like, you don't remember? Well, let me jog your memory real quick. Skadoosh. Yeah. And he's got his head down, trying to make it seem like, he's trying to block his face and all that. She's also doing the same thing. But look at her get all, trying to get all cozy and ish with this man. Scandalous. Scandalous. Okay, I was going to say.
That's you and Mr. Franco on May 22nd, 2016, right, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
And you're taking him up to the penthouses, aren't you?
That's where I lived, yes.
And it's past 11 p.m. at night. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure of the time it looked like that.
Why don't we pull that video back up?
Yeah, why not? For the nosebleed seats, baby. They were going up to the clap cheeks. Come on now.
22:51. Almost midnight, right?
That's
Excuse me, almost 11 o'clock at night.
exactly.
You knew Mr. Depp was out of town the week of May 21, 2016, didn't you?
I don't know what I knew of his schedule at the time.
Yeah, they were studying for a
You
role.
knew Mr. Depp was out of town on May 27th when you went to get the domestic violence restraining order. Isn't that right?
I don't know if I knew that at the time.
Straight up booty
You knew
call.
Mr. Depp was heading out on a European tour that week. Isn't that right?
I'm not quite sure what I understood of his schedule at that time.
You knew he wouldn't be back for weeks, right?
No, that's incorrect.
Amber for the streets.
Let's go back to that recording.
Amber for the streets.
It's Defendant's Exhibit 598. So you testified that you and Mr. Depp were in the car outside of his studio. Is that right?
Yes.
And you were trying to prevent him from going into his studio to do drugs, right?
Yeah, to effectively start another cycle.
Effectively.
Not that Mr. Depp was just trying to go into his house to see his daughter, right?
His daughter might be one of the people that was in the house at that time, but that's neither here nor there. That
Your
would
testimony is now,
prevent him
Mr.
from entering a cycle.
Your testimony is now that Mr. Depp does drugs in front of his children?
Well, first of all, I know he does. Second of all, it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have stopped him from using with his friends, which is the problem, not whether or not his daughter was there.
Let's play, please, Defendants 598 at 49:48 through 50:35. 50:35.
Damn right, Karen.
I'm itching. I don't want to be doing this. I want it just to, why don't you just say, okay, baby, I understand. I'll go home and you do your thing, hang out with your daughter, and then I'll see you in a couple hours and we'll talk about it. Is it that difficult to say that? Or you just fucking hate me and you want to be shitty about it? Please. Just fucking, it's not that difficult. Okay? I don't want to stand here in a driveway and argue with you. Okay, well, I'll see you in a little bit, okay? Please? Please. Just let me know if you're going to go somewhere. Just let me know, please, so I know.
And almost an hour later, you're still arguing with Mr. Depp outside, right?
I don't know how long that argument lasted, no.
Ms. Heard, you testified about seeking a domestic violence restraining order against Mr. Depp, correct?
Yes, I have.
And how you wanted to do it discreetly?
That's correct.
That you wanted as much privacy as you could have?
Yes, that's correct.
And how you walked out to a sea of paparazzi and cameras and photographers, right?
That is correct.
And how this overwhelmed you?
It was overwhelming, yes.
Because you didn't want this attention on you?
That is correct.
If you could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 800, which has already been admitted into evidence.
Come on, man. Refresh your memory.
This is a photograph of you taken inside the courthouse when you obtained the DVRO, correct?
That's correct.
And your friend Raquel Pennington took this photograph?
Yes, that's correct.
Because you needed to document your time at the courthouse getting a DVRO?
She just took a picture of me. I'm assuming it was in relation to my divorce, yeah.
If we could please pull up Defendant's Exhibit 801, which has already been admitted into evidence. Ms. Heard, this is another photograph of you taken inside the courthouse, isn't that right?
That is correct.
Were you having a photo shoot inside the courthouse while you were getting a DVRO?
No doubt.
I would not characterize it that way, Ms. Vasquez.
So who took the photo?
You have a mark on your face, right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
You didn't use your bruise kit this time to cover it up?
No, it was the only day I actually walked out of my house without makeup on. I had to be stopped. My best friend saw me in the bathroom starting to put makeup on and told me not to.
All right.
Okay.
Please pull up Exhibit 1.
That's plaintiffs at one.
Yes, thank you, Your Honor.
Yep.
Apologies.
That's fine.
It's already been admitted into
Yes, ma'am.
evidence. You wrote this op-ed, right, Ms. Heard?
With the help of the ACLU, yes,
That's what you testified to in this courtroom, right?
that is correct.
And this was published on December 18th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Aquaman was released on December 21st, 2018, right?
Yes, that sounds correct.
And that was your first big blockbuster, big budget role, right?
I disagree, but it was the first time I had like a leading role in a movie of that size, yes. Well, second time, yes.
What was your first time?
But the first one was the film I talked about before, yesterday, Justice League. It introduced the character. So, technically, it
though,
was
but
the second one.
But you were the love interest in Aquaman, correct?
That is correct.
Now, at least parts of this op-ed are about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
It's about what happened to me after.
You sat here during opening statements when your attorney argued that the context of your statements in this op-ed matter, correct?
That's correct.
So let's go through some of that context.
oh, you dirty. Come on.
Friends and advisors told me I would never work again as an actress, that I would be blacklisted.
Come on. Come on. Come on.
Statement, aren't you?
In general, I'm referring to being associated with domestic violence.
And you're referring to what you claim happened after you got an ex-party.
Toenail. Hold on, guys.
Consider getting.
Because that's some horse-ish. I'm going to fix this real quick. Hold on, guys. Because I hate that.
Quote, questions arose as to whether I would be able.
I got it. 2 seconds, guys. 2 seconds.
Arose only after you accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence in May of 2016, allegedly, right?
Yeah, from the time I got the TRO, being associated with domestic violence, that's what it's a reference to, yes.
You also wrote, quote, imagine a powerful man as a ship like the Titanic. That ship is a huge enterprise. When it strikes an iceberg, there are a lot of people on board desperate to patch up holes, not because they believe in or care about the ship, but because their own fates depend on the enterprise. In this op-ed, you're saying Mr. Depp is a ship, right?
I'm making an analogy to a powerful man as a ship.
The powerful man you're referring to in this analogy is Mr. Depp, right?
I was talking about a bigger issue actually than just Johnny. I was talking about what we as a country were talking about at the time of writing this, which is when powerful men in general do something horrible or something they shouldn't, how there is a system in place to protect them, clean up after them, maintain them afloat. This is a reference to not just Johnny, it was about what was happening as a culture when we were addressing a lot of Me Too issues for the first time.
The iceberg is you in this analogy, right, Ms. Heard?
I would not say that. That was not what I intended to know.
So this is another reference to your accusations against Mr. Depp.
No, this is about what happened to me once I left that relationship and got a TRO and became associated with domestic violence.
It's your testimony that this op-ed isn't about Mr. Depp, right?
It's about what happened to me after. That's
It's
correct.
about your experience after obtaining a temporary restraining order against Mr. Depp, right?
That is correct, among other things.
But it's not about Mr. Depp.
It is not about him,
Mr. Depp is making it about Mr. Depp, right?
ironically.
It's kind of like that Carly Simon song, right, Miss Heard?
I don't know what you mean.
Let's talk about the defamatory
Come
statements in
on,
the op-ed
man.
that you also claim are not about Mr. Depp.
Damn op-ed. Come on now.
Then 2 years ago, I became a public figure representing domestic abuse, and I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out. This is about Mr. Depp, isn't it?
No,
You wrote this in 2018, right?
exactly.
And 2 years prior was 2016, right?
That's true.
Okay.
That's correct. It's
So
not about
May of
Johnny. It's about what happened to me
Ms. Heard,
after.
my question was May of 2016 is 2 years prior to December of 2018, correct?
That's correct.
All right. May 2016 is when you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence, right?
I got my restraining order at that time.
And you publicly accused Mr. Depp of domestic violence.
Yes, that was attached to my restraining order. So yes,
May of 2016 is when you sought a restraining order against Mr. Depp.
that's correct. And I had to
May-
provide testimony for that.
Right. And May 2016 is when you walked into court with a mark on your face to obtain that restraining order. Yes or no?
That was the day I walked into court with a bruise on my face. Yes.
And you were photographed with that mark on your face, weren't you?
I walked out to a bunch of photographers. Yes.
May 2016 is when you told the world that Mr. Depp had physically abused you during your relationship. Isn't that right?
That I had to provide testimony as part of my restraining order application. Yes.
And that's how you became a public figure representing domestic abuse. Right, Ms. Heard?
Yes.
From that point on. Yes.
That's when you claimed you faced our culture's wrath,
That's
right?
when it started. Yes.
But it's your testimony under oath that this statement is not about Mr. Depp.
It is not. It is about what happened to me afterwards. Was the more interesting thing for me to write about.
Afterwards.
The next statement.
Who was it
reads,
then?
I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. This is also about Mr. Depp, isn't that right?
Not just about him, but he is included in that. Yes.
He's the man you accused of abuse 2 years prior to
just
this
said
op-ed.
it's not
Isn't
about-
that right, Ms. Heard?
Yes, but I wrote this op-ed in the context of many men at the time that were public figures or in this public eye being accused as well. So it was a reference in general to a larger phenomenon, not just Johnny.
Not just Johnny.
Yeah.
Not just Johnny.
You just said, okay.
And then you write, I spoke up against sexual violence and faced our culture's wrath. This one's also about Mr. Depp.
I did not write that.
Well, you've accused Mr. Depp of sexual violence in this very courtroom, haven't you?
Yes, but I was intending to keep that private when this was published.
Oh,
I
boy.
had not publicly ever accused him of that.
I'm going to move to strike everything after the word yes.
No, I'll overrule the objection. Go ahead.
This is terrible.
You may not have written this title, but you published it, didn't you?
I did not publish a title. I retweeted the article that included the title in it because that was the article.
Let's pull up, please, Plaintiff's Exhibit 3, which is already in
Excuse me?
evidence.
What? Okay. All right then.
This is a tweet from your Twitter account on December 19th, 2018, correct?
That is correct.
Your Honor, oh, it's already in evidence?
It is in evidence.
Thank you.
Yes.
So on December 19th, 2018, you tweeted, quote, today I published this op-ed in the Washington Post. Did I read that right?
That is correct.
And the tweet includes a link to the op-ed we were just looking at, correct?
That's correct.
And you can see that the title of the op-ed in your tweet is, quote, opinion, Amber Heard. I spoke up against sexual violence, right?
Yes, you don't get to change the title of an article you're retweeting.
And that's the title that you put on your Twitter, correct?
I did not put it on my Twitter, no.
You linked it to your tweet.
I retweeted the article.
You published it.
I retweeted a link to an article that
That you
I
published.
wrote.
And you published it on your Twitter account. All right.
I retweeted it.
You testified yesterday that you didn't have any control over the title and just now of the op-ed when you retweeted it. Is that correct?
That is correct.
This wasn't a retweet though, right?
a tweet? Perhaps not retweet. I'm not quite sure.
It was
I
a
guess
tweet.
Tweet. I misspoke. Excuse me. Tweet, not retweet.
You included a link to the electronic copy of the op-ed in your tweet, right?
That's what I was trying to say earlier, and I might have misspoke. It's like I'm trying to attach it.
Right. So you included a link, right? to
Yes,
the
that's
op-ed.
correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So you must have seen the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you tweeted it, right?
I may have. I just didn't notice it.
Excuse
Not very
me?
careful about what you publish,
Wait,
are you,
excuse
Ms.
me?
Hurd?
What?
I just didn't notice the title.
You didn't notice the title
You
of a
didn't
thing
need to
that you
include
were
the
a
link
part
to
of?
the electronic version of the op-ed in your tweet, did you?
How else would I have linked it?
Well, you didn't need to include the link to tell the world that today you had published this op-ed in the Washington Post about women who are channeling their rage and about violence and equality into political strength despite the price of coming forward, right?
I couldn't attach it with a paper clip.
No, but you didn't need to attach it at all to tell the world
Oh,
that
I see
you
what you're
had
saying.
published an op-ed.
No, the goal was to tweet about it and to provide a link so that people could read it.
The op-ed is in your name, right?
That's correct.
So if you had noticed the title of the electronic version of the op-ed before you included it in your tweet, you could have asked the Washington Post to change it. Isn't that right?
No, that's not.
But you didn't do that, right? You never asked the Washington Post to change the title.
I didn't notice it and I didn't ask them, nor do I think I needed to.
At the bottom, do you see that there's another tweet from December 19th, 2018?
Yes, I do.
And in this one, it reads, I am honored to announce my role as an ACLU ambassador on women's rights. Did I read that right?
That's correct.
So you announced your ACLU ambassadorship the same day you posted the op-ed on your Twitter.
I think that was always the plan, is to attach the article with the announcement that I was an ambassador.
Not anymore.
Your Honor, if I may, would this be a good time to stop for lunch?
No, it's too
No.
early.
Okay,
Sorry.
it's okay.
We got to keep going at least till 12:30.
Okay, that's
Thank
fine,
you.
Your Honor. Thank you.
You got 20 more minutes, girl.
Ms. Hurd, you testified yesterday about your counterclaim against Mr. Depp in this case. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes, I do.
Your counterclaim is based on 3 statements made by Mr. Depp's attorneys, Adam Waldman. Is that right?
That's correct.
We looked at those 3 statements yesterday, right?
That's correct.
And the first statement was from an April 8th, 2020 article, right?
That's correct.
And that's Defendant's Exhibit 1245 that's been previously admitted. Would you please pull that up? Thank you. If we could please publish that. Thank you. We can scroll down to the 8th page. Mr. Waldman's statement is buried on the 8th page of a 12-page article. Is that right, Ms. Hurd?
I don't know how many pages are here.
Well, this is the 8th page. Let's go to the 12th. Let's pull up, please, Defendant's Exhibit 1246, which has already been admitted. And if we could please go to Mr. Waldman's statement on page 10. And go on to page 11 of a That's Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
That is correct. I think it's Mr. Waldman speaking on behalf of Johnny, yes.
You don't have any evidence of that, do you, Ms. Hurd? This is Mr. Waldman's statement, right?
I think it's included in the article as well.
That this is Mr. Waldman's statement, correct?
That a representative or an attorney, I don't know which word it says in the article, but it says very clearly that they're speaking on behalf of Johnny or representing Johnny.
Can we please pull up Plaintiff's Exhibit 8818, 881A, excuse me. If we could please go to page 8 of this article. Sorry, Your Honor. May I just
All right.
approach?
Yes, ma'am.
Petitions at 4.2 million signatures and quickly climbing. It just keeps getting added on and on and on. I mean, this is going to be devastating for her career.
We'll come back to this. Sorry, Ms. Hurd. Sorry, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Let's go ahead and take this down, please. Thanks. You testified yesterday about how your reputation was before these 3 statements were made, correct?
Yes, I did.
You testified that your career was going very well before.
I think I said the trajectory was positive. Yes,
You testified you had a global campaign for L'Oreal, right?
that is correct.
You testified you were waiting on a schedule for Aquaman 2.
That is correct.
You testified you were scheduled to do a press tour for the TV show The Stand.
Press obligations. Yes,
And then you testified that after the articles, you were no longer actively involved in the L'Oreal campaign. Isn't that right?
they suspended using my material.
And that you were no longer involved in the publicity surrounding The Stand after the articles, right?
That's correct.
And you didn't hear anything about the schedule for Aquaman 2.
Correct.
Ms. Hurd, you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason you are allegedly no longer active in the L'Oreal campaign, do you?
Well, I mean, other than my awareness that they can't use me because of all of the online attention that generated.
And you have no evidence that Mr. Waldman's 3 statements are the reason that the Stand media opportunities allegedly stopped, do you?
Yeah, I know they couldn't attach my name to their promotional materials because of the online stuff.
In fact, there was a lot of reasons why you were no longer active in these endeavors. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
Reasons that had absolutely nothing to do with Mr. Waldman's statements. Isn't that right?
I disagree with that.
There was a lot of publicity about your relationship with Mr. Depp around the time Mr. Waldman made the 3 statements at issue, right?
I do not recall.
A lot of really negative publicity for you, Ms. Hurd. Isn't that right?
There's been an ongoing smear campaign, yes.
An ongoing negative publicity campaign.
It's an orchestrated smear campaign.
You have no evidence of that, do you, Ms. Hurd?
Just look me up, you'll see.
Let's take a look at some of that.
All right.
Fascinating stuff, guys. Fascinating stuff indeed. As I've said this before, but the only reason why her career may have taken may have taken a little bit of a speed bump is because of the op-ed that she wrote her damn self. Let's be real. That's the reason why. It doesn't have anything to do with anything else. She wrote something, and as a result, because she was getting caught in her lies even before any of this stuff went on, corporations and businesses and production houses didn't want to work with her anymore. It's because of what she wrote is why she lost the bag. And that's only that. The truth came out. She called him an abuser. She called him everything you can think of under the sun. As I always say, you know, she called him everything except a child of God. All right? The only reason why her career may have taken a small sidestep is because of the article that she wrote about Johnny Depp. That's it. It opened up a whole bunch of questions. You put it out there. So, of course, everybody's going to go, wait, did he really do those things? They're going to look into the stuff. They're going to do their due diligence. They're going to look things up to see what the hell is going on. And if they find any glimmer of a lie, you going to get exposed. That's it. So her trying to throw back a $100 million defamation lawsuit at Johnny Depp is it's a stretch, y'all. It's an absolute stretch. And you know what? You got a point. There should be a petition for Disney to publicly apologize to Johnny Depp as well. Because if this stuff comes out, I mean, obviously we're seeing these things. This is very exposing, damning evidence. And her performance on the stand is absolutely terrible. It's crumbling. And one of the main reasons why he is not playing Captain Jack Sparrow on Pirates of the Caribbean 6 is because of this op-ed. And actually, if you really think about it, him not doing Pirates of the Caribbean anymore is probably an absolute blessing. Those movies weren't making crazy numbers like they did in the very beginning. What were they going to do with the character anyway? So yes, I'm sure he saw that as a sign of like, all right, I'm going to go and do my own thing. I'm going to retire Captain Jack Sparrow, and I think he should. He just needs to go and do his own thing. Find projects that he loves, do some smaller things. He's got more than enough money. But he can still act. He can still do his thing. And stop playing all these Tim Burton characters all the time. You know what I mean? Change it up a little bit, bruh. That's all. Go find your happiness and sobriety. And that's it. But all of this was created because of the op-ed that she published. The title that she didn't write, Boo, like I said before, Boo just walked across the keyboard. Just blame it all on Boo. Boo walked across her keyboard and typed out the title for her. And then she published it. The only reason why they are in this mess, they're in this courtroom, they are not making and securing the bags like they used to, is because of the op-ed that she had the balls to put out. Then did you notice that she said, it is not about Johnny. The op-ed is not about Johnny. Then she says, yes, then she says later on, it's about Johnny and all the other. So it's about Johnny too. She goes, oh, I'm omitting him from the list. He's not on the list. It's the other men's. It's all the other men that I dealt with after my divorce from Johnny Depp. So what kind of world were you thrown into, sweetheart? Damn, baby. You literally divorced Johnny Depp and what, you just got tossed around, ran through like that? And that spawned you to write an op-ed that's not about Johnny, but about somebody else, or about other mans? What the hell? What in the hell? Are you alleging? Actually, I just saw that. Literary Junkie. Are you alleging that Elon Musk did something to you? What is she trying to say? Because that doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm a victor, and I'm a victim, and I'm a survivor of this DV, SA, SV. I'm not going to name any names, but you just got through a divorce from a very big name and a very quote unquote powerful man in Hollywood, and you're sitting there now saying it has nothing to do with the dude. It just doesn't make sense, y'all. It just doesn't make any sense. Then all of a sudden you go, he's involved or he's in the list, but you said it's not about him. You know, if you're going to be so hardcore about pledging and donation, then you have to be really, really on point with who you are pertaining to in an op-ed. You can't just suddenly say, oh, he's in the list. Then it's about him too. Period. Camille caught her. She goes, oh, so Johnny's in. He is involved. So Johnny's involved in the list of these powerful men that you're pertaining to here in this op-ed. She's like, yes. She doesn't even realize that she just caught her, that Camille caught Amber in a damn lie. This is so ridiculous. With some Illuminati self-sacrifice group orgy thing going on for the past few years after she divorced Johnny Depp. I mean, real talk. What is it? Who are these other men? Who are these mans that she just suddenly threw into the mix now? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I still don't know how she became a Hollywood starlet. I still don't know how she became a name. Oh, wait, I do know how she became a name. She started marrying and dating first and then married Johnny Depp. Boom. And then she hopped over to Elon Musk. And then James Franco. Or James Franco and then Elon Musk. I don't know. All I know is like what? Pharrell said it best. Cheat on your man, girl. That's how you get at his head. Sorry. But clearly, as things got bad with Johnny, she was looking for somebody else. Some other name. Trying to find some dude that's out here and that's connected. And she already knew him from Pineapple Express. James Franco. So it does make me wonder. Oh, it does make me wonder what the hell is going on. Like, how are we even still having a trial right now? I'm sure the jury has already made up its mind. I feel like it's a wrap already, y'all. It's an absolute wrap. And they got what? 4 minutes until they can actually go into a lunch break. And I'm just kind of like, well, just do the lunch break now. Who cares? Just do it now. Get it over with, baby. You know? It's a wrap. This whole thing's a wrap. Yeah, then I heard something about Channing Tatum. Heard something through the grapevine. I don't know about anything about that, but Billy Bob Thornton. Now, Billy Bob Thornton was, he'd been busy out here smashing everybody, man. The one person I would think that would not get laid as much, and he out here just smashing. Okay, he out here, but he knew Amber Heard very well too. You know, it's just crazy. And that's right, Fatal Flaw. When he told her to take her meds, I thought she wasn't being treated for any mental illness. Exactly. He said, go take your meds. And she said on the stand, hey, my RN just wrote some things. She's just lying. She's straight lying about these things. What was she lying about? She wrote down what medication you take because you were diagnosed with bipolar disorder. So why would she have medicine for you to take, psych meds for you to take, if you don't have bipolar disorder?
Thank you, everyone, for your patience.
Just lying up and down, y'all.
So, Ms. Heard, my last question to you was that there was a lot of negative publicity for you around the time that Mr. Waldman made these statements. Isn't that correct?
I believe that they were made, I believe that the statements kind of kept being attached to new defamatory, or, articles that were like smear campaign sort of attack articles is what it.
Let's go through some of the articles that were out in the press. So Plaintiff's Exhibit 1267. Could just publish that just for the witness. That would be great. Thank you. This is an article published on February 2nd, 2020. And the title is hashtag Justice for Johnny Depp trends after Amber Heard admits to hitting actor in audio clip. Do you see that?
I see that.
And if we can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1268. This one was published on February 3rd, 2020. It reads the title, Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording.
Yeah,
Do you see
that's
that?
when his lawyer leaked an edited tape.
Ms. Heard, do you see the title? Amber Heard admits to hitting Johnny Depp in recording. Do you see that?
I see the title.
Okay.
Bladau.
We could please go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1269. This one was published on March 17th, 2020. Amber Heard slammed door into Johnny Depp's head, reveals new audio. Do you see that?
Yeah, these are more of the PR plans.
Let's go to 1270. This one was published on March 31st, 2020. Amber Heard to be sacked from Jason Momoa's Aquaman after Johnny Depp's controversy, reports. Do you see that?
I do.
We can go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1271. You see the title that says, Johnny Depp says ex-wife Amber Heard sliced his finger off, and it, quote, erupted like the Vesuvius?
I just don't know when that was. I've never seen that article.
We can go to 1272. This one was published on May 29th, 2020, and it says, when Amber Heard confessed to smashing a door into Johnny Depp's head, clocking him in the jaw. Do you see that?
I see that.
Going to 1275. This one was published on July 15th, 2020. Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story. Ex-aide tells libel trial. Do you see that?
This was Adam Waldman as well.
Doesn't say Mr. Waldman. It actually says Kate James also says she often received abusive text messages from Johnny Depp's ex-wife, doesn't it?
I just know because he threw down the article.
Ms. Heard, isn't that what that
Mr.
says?
Waldman threw the newspaper at
Heard,
me afterwards.
Ms. Heard, that's not my question.
What
my
was your
question
I'm
is-
sorry.
The title of the article says, Amber Heard stole my sexual assault story, ex-aide tells libel trial. Kate James also says, Your Honor, she opened the door by saying it was Adam Waldman.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Let's go to Plaintiff's Exhibit 1276. Amber Heard admits to hitting fucking baby Johnny Depp in court audio. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
That's correct.
Okay. Let's go to 1277. Published July 28th, 2020. Amber Heard's sister thought she was going to kill Johnny Depp, claims witness. Do you see that, Ms. Heard?
I see that.
And 1278. Published on July 28th, 2020. Johnny Depp was the victim of abuser Amber Heard, London's High Court told. Do you see that?
I do see that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Go ahead and take our lunch recess then. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll go ahead and take our hour lunch recess at this point. Do not discuss the case with anybody and don't do any outside research. Okay, we'll see you in an hour.
Well. As you can see, I mean, they're just gonna keep on. They're gonna keep on crushing her. This is just so bad.
We'll come back at 1:35 then.
1:35. Okay, so it's lunchtime, y'all. It is lunchtime. Okay. Obviously, there's a lot to dissect here. There's a lot. Okay. And of course, we're going to have to do our thing. We're going to be talking about this for sure in a little bit. Myself, I am starving, so this is perfect timing for lunch. Of course, I'm not leaving yet. We got to talk a little bit about a few things here. But it kind of trailed off near the end. I mean, obviously, they still got some work to do. They got a lot of work to do here. But we will be reconvening here in about an hour or so, a little over an hour. And and we're going to hear some more truths, or they're going to expose more lies. That's pretty much what we're seeing right now. Exposing of the lies. Consistently, Camille Vasquez and her entire team have been doing nothing but prove to the jury, most importantly, obviously, that this woman has been lying left and right, looking all at this stuff. But we got to look into that op-ed, and that's exactly what they're looking at right now. This op-ed is absolutely crucial to the whole thing. That's the reason why they are in trial right now to begin with. This is the reason why the defamation trial even exists. Yes, there's all the other salacious things that they're throwing in here and all that crap. But that also proves that this woman, so far, Amber Heard, has been lying straight up on the stand. Now, of course, that all goes down to what they're going to do. If they're going to, will she be charged with perjury at some point? Will they move for something like that? We don't know. But right now, everything that they've seen right now is showing that she's been lying. It's been nothing but straight up lies. It has been wild. Wild. All the lies that have come out, the recordings. And it's funny because when you revisit, because we're revisiting some of the audio, right? When you revisit the audio and you actually listen to what's going on, you're like, oh my Lord, this is bad. This is very exposing when you hear the narrative in a different way, especially when you hear Johnny Depp sitting there trying to be as diplomatic and as well, not all of them, but as diplomatic and as much of a gentleman he can be in a heated situation like he is being in the middle of with Amber Heard. Clearly, she is a force to be reckoned with when she's angry. And it's interesting when she says, or when she calls him a monster. And if you really think about it, and Lady Justice said it beautifully, he's only a monster when he avoids, when he runs away, when he goes into his man cave. She basically, this is what I've gathered. She's basically calling him a monster because of the avoidance, because of him trying to walk away or run away and ignore her. That's when she goes, you're being a monster. You're such a monster when you leave me like this. And when I'm angry, you should be here to fight it out, so on and so forth. You hear it in the audio. And I know that's a little bit further back in what we've heard for the past 3 hours, but there's so much to talk about. There's so much to unpack. There's so much to break down. And we will most definitely do that on tonight's show with more, when we talk about more of what goes on. And of course, there's going to be more salacious stuff that comes up here very shortly. they're not done yet. Camille ain't done yet. Remember I said earlier, it's like Camille is like a boa constrictor. She's the dog, or the like she's got herself wrapped around Amber Heard. And every single time Amber Heard starts to wiggle just a little bit, she starts to squeeze a little bit tighter, slowly but surely. She is getting her grasp. She is wrapping herself around Amber Heard, and she is snuffing her out, one question at a time. And it's, like I said, it is quite a masterclass on exposing a liar. But I will tell you this, though, too. Amber Heard did not do her due diligence. Yes, she put out all this stuff, said all these things about Johnny Depp, created quite the narrative. But the devil is in the details, y'all. Again, the devil is in the details. And without those details, you ain't got a case. We're seeing how lazy she is. She'll work really hard to create a narrative that wraps around a image of her that is perfect. But then when we sit here and go, where's the facts? Where's the proof? We're seeing that all the stuff, all of her hard work of lies is now coming to light. The truth has most definitely come to light. Isn't that funny? The devil's in the details. And if you just sit there and wait, the truth will come out. And we're seeing it right now. It's insane. I don't know how she's going to even be able to show her face in public after this trial. This is going to be a very tough thing for her. Because regardless, if she wins, which it's going to be weird if she does, unless Team Heard, which they don't, but if Team Heard has some damning evidence that's going to just expose everything and blow the top off of this thing, it's a stretch. But if they did, and the jury wins, okay, she still has to show her face. But if she does lose, which she most likely will now, not only just by the court of public opinion, but by the jury, by a jury of her peers, I just wonder how she's going to be able to show up to anything, show up in Hollywood. Everyone's going to avoid her like the plague because they're thinking that she'll just make up lies about them too. One other thing I will say before I get going here into this lunch break. That audio where she was going in and gaslighting, being extremely toxic, insulting Johnny Depp and all that was very, very revealing. And it, in as much as it was like, and salacious and like, oh my God, I forgot about that audio, so on and so forth, because it was damning evidence. It made me sad. It made me sad that these are two people that found each other and you have somebody talking to another person in a certain way, just talking down to them. How do you stay married to somebody like that? How do you find love in your heart for somebody who talks like that to another person? Real talk. Extremely toxic. But extremely damning evidence of a woman that said on the stand how terrified she was of Johnny Depp. And then suddenly you hear audio where she's basically in his face saying he ain't nothing and nah, trying to take him down as many pegs as she could. That's not the sound of somebody who's scared of her husband, of her alleged abusive husband. That's a woman who does not give two damns, thinks she's on top of the world. Like I said, she's a liar. She's very creative, and she can paint quite the narrative. But the devil is in the details. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go and take this break. I'm going to end this feed, but I will be back on again at 12:35. So that's about 40 minutes away from now. So be sure to tune in because they said that lunch break is going to be over at 1:35. I'm going to take a break, kill this feed, but I'm going to jump back on. So jump on with me so we can go through some ish and get prepared before the lunch break is over and we see the rest of this destruction, this annihilation of Miss Amber Heard on the stand. Anyway, guys, hit that like button down below real quick. I do appreciate it. All right. Hit it. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button before you take off. And then come back in about 45 minutes. We'll be back to watch the rest of this monstrosity. And what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful morning it has been. The truth shall set you free, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get going. I'll see you guys in a minute. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. And I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes. This is the Pascal Show. Bye.